Too well is me more precise. Meet me by the. Hello.
Hey, we're live. So at least I believe we're live.
Huh? All right. Sorry. Yeah, random call. What's up, everybody? Sorry for the we're a little late, 10 minutes or so, but let me mute my music. But you know, we here, everybody. My do-rag.
You gotta tell them like, hey, you gotta tell them, hey, I'm still alive. The kids ain't sleep yet.
I know, right? For real.
I know what that's like. Oh, wait a minute. What did I saw something in here. I was like, as soon as I come on, I gotta address that. What did he say? Matt Marcus says, our comrade Generalissimo Chad Zelinsky Hinkle is the most persecuted content creator on the YouTube. How the hell are you continuously growing if you're the most persecuted? That shit fucking annoys me. I don't know. I don't know. I look at it like this. You're the most persecuted, but yet you're being invited on to other channels and all this. Like, man, just get the fuck out of here. I don't want to hear that shit. That stuff annoys me. Whenever I hear anybody with a large platform start talking about it, they're the most persecuted. Bitch, how are you persecuted if your platform is growing? You talk to somebody whose platform has been stomped off at the fucking knees.
Exactly.
Cash Money Chris on the phone with his bookie.
Warren is crazy.
Well, let me just make sure that that we are live on the Rock Fins, and then I could go on ahead and get the kick started. Well, it's showing live. Or is it? Actually, let's check my phone and double check and make sure it's live. We'll get started shortly, everyone. Got so much interesting, fun content today. Hopefully y'all enjoy it. Okay, cool. Let me turn that down. All right, cool. I see my ugly mug on there. So yes, I guess we are live. Just need to wait for this to catch up and wait for the chat to engage. It says we have 5 watching over there. All right, cool. Let's go on ahead and get it started. Chris, you have a special announcement, sir? You'd like to go into?
That work has been real busy.
Oh yeah, everybody, y'all need to know that Chris is officially working for the enemy now. Just want to.
Oh yeah,
Chris is literally working for the enemy. Lift my chair up. Where's my adjustments? There we go. That's just this chair, but yeah, Chris is officially working for the enemy. I just want to put that out there. Put him on blast real quick. Yes, he's working for BlackRock. So just wanted to put that out there. But yeah, let's go on ahead and let's start the show.
Get down to understanding this political matrix.
Out there, the stunt double. He walked out. He's got an oximeter on his back. I'm like, you gotta keep other. Marcus said on his other show. He was like, American politics is simply pro wrestling.
He became afraid of everyone because people were reporting on each other.
We're living out Minority Report too as well. And you know what? You know why we know that, boss? Because we've been reporting on it. Yeah, I know.
All the black people in this country be willing to take a reservation.
That's what the Nation of Islam was asking for.
Put a couple of clips together.
It's
crazy to see how much Martin Luther King really began to look like, damn, man, Malcolm was fucking right.
I mean, what is the elite's end game?
There's this assumption that as a black commentator or black journalist that you're not informed.
Relationships, that's a skill we have to learn.
It's even more kind of mind-blowing because we're supposed to be the multicultural space.
Trying to drum up money to keep the war machine going so they can keep the donors happy.
Yeah. Do the Chinese own part of that?
Began a long time ago. Ukraine has had a neo-Nazi problem for decades.
Proof of sanction, am I right?
I don't know if domcopters will do it, but something's got to be able to save the world.
From the private industry here.
You know, like I say, people come on here, they can say stuff they don't normally say on their own shows, which is fine.
Oh, it's McDonald's. Whoop-de-doo.
Ooh.
And their cholesterol is going to go down. Yeah, good.
Look, we only exist because we have the biggest military, kid.
And silencing a person like Julian Assange. Because it affects everybody. And today, last week, believe you me, because they know who you are. They watch. They got people that's going out there. They don't want you guys having the conversations that you're having on this show. Mm-hmm. So it affects the political matrix today.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Political Matrix. I'm young Morpheus Cage, Marcus Rage, whatever you want to call me. And I got my boy Cy Lawson here with me. Which one was that, Jalen or Marcus? What's up? I couldn't see him. It was too quick.
That's a little crazy ass Marcus. He be dying to get on camera, yo.
One of these days, I'm gonna have to, buddy. I'm gonna have to add just have the whole family in. What's up?
What's up?
Hey, we got the same name, so you know he already gets points in my book there.
Exactly.
He does. Does he know what the name Marcus means? Where it comes from?
Didn't it come from the Greek? Oh,
it comes from the Greeks, but what in particular?
It wasn't a warrior.
Not only a warrior, the god of war.
Oh shit!
Okay. See, I remember I had to tell certain. I had to like do a project on where my name came from, and I looked it up, and I remember that it was a warrior.
So that's another way to tell people, hey, be careful fucking with me. Call me Mr. Chimney because I want all the smoke.
I know, right?
Oh boy, we see. Hey,
what's going on, man? How was your week, Marcus?
My week was interesting. I was just glad that it kind of went by. I'm ready to I'm ready for some football tomorrow more than anything. I've been just seeing crazy shit through. I mean, it seems like so much shit that's going on that it's like these thumbnails are gonna start getting like so. It's gonna start looking like one of those like 10,000 piece puzzles because I have so much shit in there, and I don't know if people realize how much work it takes to put in something which people only see for maybe a half a second. But that way, hopefully, when people are skimming by and they look at what is this 2.5, 3 hour conversation, what the heck are they even talking about? That way, more than likely, they'll have an idea of what we're talking about and want to be more engaged in the conversation. So.
Let's just keep it pushing, kid.
All right. I'm like, I'm not touching Dynamite tonight. I left my days of playing around in EOD. I don't want any Dynamite. I see Streets. I see Yipper in here. And let me switch over to Rockfin. I think I saw, what was it? I saw Opus Cosmic in there. He says that's his brother's name also. Wait a minute, did somebody say Pasta in here? Tim Osman, I see. Tim Osman said, hey, it's Pasta. Oh yeah, probably in the intro, which yes, Pasta is part of the intro. We've had him on here. One of these days I need to upload that intro not intro, but interview, because I had Pasta and Fiorella on, but I think it's before I got on Rockfin. So, or I keep saying before we got on Rockfin. So I can upload it for those who are following on the Rockfin side to be able to see. We got 9 watching over on Rockfin. So much love to all the support we're getting over there. We have. Do you know what our tally is right now, Chris?
No, I'm actually on the. I'm on there right now. Let me go. I'll be cheating. So let me see.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Very, very. Actually, I'm.
Oh, 13, kid.
Yeah. We're I think 1321 on Rockfin right now. So I mean, now we have officially passed all of the shows that I do on YouTube combined. And it's weird. Right after we passed that 1200 mark, I noticed that all of my other channels start growing on YouTube. And it's almost like YouTube hears the fact that we're not growing and like, oh well, we got to give him a couple of numbers. We can't keep completely screwing him over, you know. But of course, we're not screwed over anywhere as much as people like Mr. Hinkle, who thinks that they're the most censored people on the internet. And I hear plenty of. If you're a large platform and you keep screaming about this shit, one simple statement. And I don't care who you are, shut the fuck up. You are not being you have no idea what it's like to actually be censored and held back and all that shit. So Warren says YouTube growth for me is like planting a weed in concrete. Exactly. At least y'all fucking shows are growing. But anyway, let's go to the title of the topic. What we have here. We have Israeli superhero. I don't know if you all have heard about that. We got Eddie Griffin versus LGBTQ agenda in Hollywood. Now, in this interview, he goes into a lot of different stuff, but I wanted to key in particular on some of the things that he said about like Hollywood and the LGBTQ, because it's hit on a couple of tones that we've hit on this show before. Let's see what else. We got MAGA Jackson. We need to have a little bit of fun. So we have MAGA Jackson that we're going to cover tonight. And Chris, have you heard of MAGA Jackson?
I just earlier today I saw it. I assume that's the host of another creator, right?
Yes, he would be another creator.
I don't even want to spend that much time talking about him like that, because we discussed him last week. I still don't understand.
No, not this. No. That's not the same MAGA Jackson.
Oh, okay. Then I don't know.
Yeah. Oh, well, you're gonna have a ball with this. This is gonna be so enjoyable. And then I definitely want to at least touch on for a little bit and talk about the massive earthquake which happened in Mexico. Because it's crazy how I can't think of how many days in a row, how many years in a row that they've had a massive earthquake at this specific time. And so it's almost kind of like a reoccurring thing that happens every year around this time. They have a massive earthquake there in Mexico. And then I want to talk about Hurricane Fiona a little bit. And of course, we know, I know this is not one of your favorite topics, Chris, but we do got to talk about Russia and Putin just a little bit. So,
all right, that's cool.
We're not going to jump. Well, what I plan on doing is Hamza has put me in touch with somebody who is very knowledgeable on. Granted, there's a lot of people who are knowledgeable on the affairs that are going on and paying attention to it on the ground, back and forth. And it's just good to hear different perspectives. So I'm setting up an interview, and in that interview, we're going to go more in depth and talk about a lot of different things, which that will more than likely be exclusively on Rockfin, because you all know what happens when you start talking about Ukraine, Russia, and you are not 100% in the camp of the Ukrainian so-called cause, and you're not buying the official narrative. So keep an eye out for that interview. I will definitely make sure to plug it. Damn, what's going on? Is that my background or yours? I don't know, but
I think that was yours.
Probably. But let me see. I want to. Let's see. Let me hop back. I got so many things open. Yes, I completely agree with you there. Extra Bull says there's an earthquake in Arizona. Well, actually, what it is that earthquake that happened in Mexico. They're feeling the tremors all the way up to Arizona, and it's created like a Yipper is already ahead of me. The sand tsunami, which hopefully I still have that clip already that I can get to really quickly, and I'll bring it up. But first, I feel like we have to talk about our beloved leader. So let me try to pull this up. Oh man, this cracked me up when I saw it. This cracked me up. I gotta figure out how this Snapchat stuff works.
Oh, you got Snap too?
Oh, damn it! How do I go backwards? Oh, okay, cool. That's how you go backwards.
I don't have it. I don't even know how to use that shit.
I don't know how to use any of this shit either. I'm literally just feeling around in the dark. I don't know what I'm doing. That's why one of these days, hopefully, somebody will love the show enough that they'll want to join on and handle tech for us. But until then, you guys are stuck with me. So let's back this up. Let's get the volume going. Let's do that one more time. Let's back it up. Do it one more time. Yeah, so as you can see,
Trez, what's up, man?
As you can see, the president, Mr. Biden here, is getting. Hold on, let me switch us back. As you can see, the president is getting more and more lost, and I don't know if the meds are starting to wear off or they're just not strong enough for him anymore. But what did you see this? Did you see what happened with Biden getting just like completely like just lost on stage?
I didn't see that particular video, but all of the other ones I saw is very similar to the other ones. My favorite one was when he just stopped and looked at the poster on the wall or the picture on the wall. You know what I'm saying? Where he was just like,
yeah, I saw that too. I mean, it's just getting bad. This is getting truly embarrassing.
Look, like Baba Yaga just says. What's up, Baba Yaga, by the way? Where are the handlers? You know what I'm saying? Like, he needs to be caught. Like, basically, remember how people were putting their kids on a leash a couple years ago?
Mm-hmm.
He basically needs to be put on a leash. And the fact that they don't is just crazy.
Yeah, I mean, this is like when some people say elderly abuse has definitely gotten to that point where this is elderly abuse, what we're dealing with here. I mean, it's clearly obvious that this man, everything is not fucking clicking. He's not on all cylinders, but they keep still putting his ass out there.
You know what, though? This goes to show how effective the Trump narrative was. Because this is all we're seeing this is the manifestation of Trump what is it, TDS?
Trump derangement.
Trump derangement. Yeah. This is the manifestation of it, that you hate him so much, you hate so much that you put a fucking geriatric Alzheimer's dementia patient as your fucking driver. So when they need to learn work in wig shop, could smell all the hair he wants, for real. For real, Warren. But honestly though, like, because they hated Trump so bad, they're taking this. So I don't even care about Biden. I'm really just looking at all the people who told me that he was going to be so much better than Trump. Not that I even care, but you know, I just want to be clear in saying it. We don't believe that Trump or Biden were going to be good or anything like that. But for the people who do believe it, right? This is what I'm speaking on and speaking to. What do you have to say? You look dumb as fuck right now. All of that vote blue and all that shit. I don't care who I offend right now. You're a moron. It was clear Biden was already having cognitive decline well before this. All right.
Yeah.
Trump
I
is
have
another.
to. I honestly, I have to echo what Varian said here. This is just embarrassing as a citizen. At work the other day, somebody literally was like, "Isn't it just embarrassing to have Biden as president? Wouldn't you prefer to have Trump?" And I'm like, both of these motherfuckers are embarrassing. Both. You got one is fucking dementia and looks like the old preacher, from Poltergeist 2, and then you got the other one is just sloppy. I know some people will get in their feelings about me talking about like, well, you got to be sensitive towards plus size people. He's fat and sloppy. Let's just call it what it is.
Ding, 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 facts.
And so, and he looks like he just has like he took a bath in Cheeto dust, and then you got the fucking bad comb over shit going on. I mean, he is fucking embarrassing. I'm sorry there.
No, I apologize. That shit is funny, man.
I mean, I don't know.
They did have a look to the crowd. Somebody said, did you ever see him talk at night? When they talked at night, he had that creepy red light shit behind him.
Mm-hmm.
Wasn't that it?
Yeah.
When he gave that speech? Yeah.
I almost want to pull that deep fake up again. The Poltergeist 2 with Biden. It's like, do you want to sing a little song, little girl? I don't know. Some more people in the audience, they might not be old enough to remember Poltergeist 2, but for us that do know, that shit was fucking hilarious.
But honestly, to the people who didn't just like vote for Biden, I'm talking about the people who had like this belief system, like they believe in the system, they believe in the political. They believe that you can put good people into politics, into government positions, and you can get better outcomes, etc., etc. For those people, what do you have to say for yourself? Because, like as I just said a few moments ago, it was obvious Biden was having problems. Number one. Two, now that he's been in office all this time, like what has he done that has like been so fucking great? Explain it to me.
That's I need to have you talk to one of my boys, Anthony. He jumped all on my TikTok and he was like going back and forth. Biden's been doing this and he did that and he's the best hope. And Trump and I'm like, any of you people who believe any of these people do anything are mind-boggling to me at this point.
Look, I know a lot of them liberals be watching Bill. They be hate watching or love watching Bill Maher. I'll take something from him. New rule. When y'all discussing how great Biden is, don't bring up Trump. Let's see how far you get.
Yeah, which I was debating if I was even going to talk about the whole Bill Maher thing. I mean, at this point, I just look at. Oh, do you know?
Something happened with him? No, something happened with him.
Yeah, what did he call it? Presentism, where people are looking at figures of old in a modern light and making ourselves better than them. And basically he was making an excuse for like a lot of the so-called founding fathers that really they were good people. They were just kind of doing what was kind of normalized at the time. And he even made a reference to if you had money and you were wealthy at that time, you probably would have owned slaves too. So
it's funny. You know how they say like stay out of women's business, right? I'm gonna stay out of white liberal people business. Like,
well, that's what the whole election process has become for me. This is literally, in my opinion, just an argument between the white blue MAGA and the white MAGA, and you have these two groups that they're the only ones who are allowed to vote their political interest. And the system is all built and designed for them. And what they do is, if you're any of the marginalized communities, outside of LGBTQ, elemental PEG, and outside of that group, you are thrown a bone. That's about it.
Don't
You're
let
throwing a little bone.
canceled.
Hey, I'm gonna be canceled anyway. Eventually, it's only a matter of time before somebody asks me the right or wrong question, and I tell them what I really think, and it'll be on and popping. So, I mean, it happens. It is what it is. I mean, but honestly, in this arena, what I found is you don't necessarily really get canceled. You just get excluded from a certain group, but another group latches onto you. Another group just latches onto you. Let's see. Baba says, my mom says her Meals on Wheels lady is a Trumper, so can't talk politics. When she told me that, I had a meltdown. I'm all like, yes, you can. Both are from same era. Y'all got shit in common. Y'all got so much shit in common and I think that's the reason where this whole MAGA communism shit is coming from. They feel like, well, if the Democratic and the Republican official, why am I thinking? I'm forgetting what they're called right now. The mainstream conservative and the mainstream liberals are basically kind of getting more or less what they want done through the system. Then why don't MAGA and the communism left, communist/socialist left, kind of get together and push for things that they have in common? The problem is there's far less in common.
Who you gonna get to do that? And there are some commonalities, but at the same time, unfortunately, we have to admit ignorance rules the day. There's a lot of ignorance on both sides, and it manifests differently. The MAGA side has their ignorance, so does the liberal side or the communist side, whatever. That's something that they'll get together for a little. It's like a relationship. They'll get together. At first, it'll be cool, but then after time, shit will happen, and it'll break up, and it'll be real ugly. People will be calling the authorities on each other. You know what I'm saying? Getting injunctions against each other. You know what I'm saying? Shit like that. That's how it'll go. So there's no point to even go there and do that.
Well, the thing about it is both of them still push for this whole American exceptionalism, just in different ways, but they both push for the same thing. They both are, whether they admit it or not, they're both pro-capitalist. I actually like to separate it and say laissez-faire capitalism. They really don't have much problem with the capitalist system the way it's going. The left might feel like, okay, well, we need a little bit more rules and a little fairness, but overall, they don't really give a shit. It's kind of like, I look at it like we prefer a system where there's balance and equality. And if you're a lightweight, you're fighting a lightweight. If you're heavyweight, you're fighting a heavyweight. The Republicans are like, fuck it, heavyweights fight lightweights. The difference with the Democrats is they're like, okay, well, maybe not a lightweight fight a heavyweight. Maybe a lightweight can fight a middleweight. So that's the only difference. I got a comment here from Uma. She says, for me, politics is just something that happens and takes its own form and possibility. The corruptions only want to monopolize power and interest. So I don't attach importance to organizations, politicians, or anything that can't solve corruption. And I agree with that sentiment 100%. The only issue I have is I don't see how corruption is solved. The system is built on corruption. The system is corruption. And so that is the point. Yeah, that's the point of the system. It's always been that way. So a lot of people will say, well, maybe we can reform this, or maybe we can do that. And if we got safe and fair elections, it's like if you're voting between the five idiots, and it doesn't matter if the election is fair, your choices are still five idiots. Your choices are still five corrupt people. And so that's what I'm looking at.
It's almost like that video that you sent me on the gram earlier, right? with the Democratic congressperson in the banking committee. He's there talking. He's on the committee facing the bankers. You know, you're supposed to be regulating them. He's there joking with the Bank of America representative that one of his staffers was just hired at Bank of America, and that Bank of America needs to take good care of her. And the banker from Bank of America, you know, he does that. No offense, he does that white person laugh. Her father works here. He'll take great care of her. Oh,
yeah,
like
the country club laugh.
Correct. So you have a combination there of nepotism and corruption all rolled in one. So I don't know how people think that getting a Bernie or a Trump or anybody into the system is going to work.
It's not. And we'll go more like, for instance, the last time I say that people got one of their own that they really felt could do a lot of stuff. A great example that I like to bring up is Woodrow Wilson. They wanted anti-war. They did not want war. He was the big anti-war candidate. What happened as soon as he got in the office? Still went to war, because the powers that be, even if somehow you sneak in the leader that you want, they're going to put that leverage on them and force them to do what they want anyway. And oh yeah, got to bring this one up. Good point. Baba says here, yo, at least Nick, RBN, school, white privilege Robbie on communism on the Hill, the rising with Bree. It was the best lesson I've seen ever before on a bigger platform. I give him credit too, because I put it this way. Cool. Well, I mean, yeah, he did.
You know what? At the end of the day, what Nick said and did. Sorry, Marcus. At the end of the day, what Nick said was good. What Nick said was good. It was necessary. It was all factual. Same with Bree, right?
Yeah.
Because she echoed some of his sentiments. The dude talking like he's just one of them people. At some point in time, you just gotta tell people, shut the fuck up. I don't want to hear you. And yeah, that sounds rough and that's crass, but listening to them people repeat the same old shit. Like, you don't want to talk about they arrest political prisoners in Cuba. They're in jail. It's like, shut the fuck up. Y'all been using that shit for like fucking 40 years already. You know what I'm saying? I'm tired.
That's something that I've had a big problem. That's part of what I used to, and I've put it on their boards many a times. I've tagged him in tweets many a times to tell that Robbie is literally the worst person on the Hill. He is the dumbest person on the Hill. You can see the smug privilege that oozes off of him.
Look, you know what? How they say me and you would fit the description for a certain particular crime. He fits the description for somebody who would be on a program like that. He has the look that audience wants to see. He has the blonde hair. It looks a little like Zach Morris on some kind of level like that. So he's appealing
a nerdy Zach Morris. Yeah.
Yeah, he's appealing to a certain group of people, so they will tune in and watch. But just to listen to him in a few minutes, to listen to Nick undress him, it's just like, man, again, you want to tell him shut the fuck up, and probably you want to slap the shit out of him if you caught him outside. You know what I'm saying?
Well, and some of the stuff that I probably would have added, I told, like I went on their stream, and in the chat, and I was like, man, they are not letting Nick back on the Hill. I mean, maybe some higher ups might decide, well, we got some good ratings off of that. We might do it. But because the system is so much against socialism, communism, anything that's a leftist type of governing principles, I don't see it. I said, dude, anytime that you get the chance to like verbally like beat up on a privileged white boy, on the inside that just was it was eating at him. He probably could have took it a little bit more if it would have been another white guy saying it to him. But the fact that he was sitting there probably in the back of his mind, excuse me for saying this, he's probably this fucking nigger is saying this shit to me. That's what I see of him anyway. He's probably couldn't stand that more than anything, that he's being schooled by a black dude. And on top of it.
And then Nick was and that homie was spitting actual facts. Again, we've heard all the propaganda about Russia, about Cuba, about Venezuela, about North Korea, about China, and the rest of it. And it's like, yo, let's just stay focused on what we're talking about. It's even like the slavery argument, right? When you say, yo, slavery was bad here, like slavery happened forever, and then just part.
That's basically what Bill Maher, a lot of these people, that's what this this white liberal / conservative mindset has been about being dismissive towards slavery. That's what it, and that's how they dismiss it, because they say, well, everybody did it.
Correct.
And like I would have thrown in one thing. I'll give it to you. The only thing that I would have thrown in different that Nick didn't throw in is the level and scale of how much the CIA, the State Department, and all these entities have, like, not only just the sanctions, how much they've literally cooed governments, killed off leaders, bought politicians, and literally directly sabotaged these governments from keeping them from growing. I mean, this is literally what Vietnam was all about.
In addition
but that's not talked about.
In addition to infiltrating even the business community in those countries, setting up dummy corporations, funding them, make it seem like these businesses are actually legit when they're actually fronts. You know what I'm saying? So it's too much. Too much.
No, I did not see that. It says Baba asked. Let me see.
I saw that.
Did you see the Don Lemon interview? CNN's Don Lemon, schooled by a UK scholar after demanding King Charles III pay reparations. It said naval families deserve reparations for dying at sea. Oh, wow.
No, she said not just that. She said, well, you need to go back to the source. You know, they were doing slavery in Africa. And it was just like, oh my, like, yo, talk about mic drop. It's like one of those you just need to throw the mic to where it busts upside her head and she get a cocoa on her head. Oops. Something like that. Because
I don't know.
Like
I don't know. I probably need to see it. Is it? Let me try to see if I can find it real quick. Go ahead.
Oh, yeah, it's bad. Because she literally said, well, reparations, you have to go back to the source of the problem. Africans were selling other Africans into slavery. So, you know, we just kind of like picked up on that. So if you guys want money for your mistreatment and everything else, you should go back to the country or people in Africa who initially sold you.
Because I got, no, hey, don't get me wrong. I got to, oh, okay, it's only 3 minutes long. Cool, let me play this.
Yeah.
I got to, because here's the thing which these people don't get. Do you think that black people in America have let the Africans off the hook that did this shit? You think that we just perfectly cool with them? No, we got a fucking bone to pick with them too. And just because we got a bone to pick with them does not excuse you for what you did.
Correct.
It's kind of like this. If any of you out there, if I held your arms and Chris started punching you in the face, you're not only going to be pissed off at Chris. I mean, that's the same thing here. Both of us had an account in this. Both of us made this thing happen. I mean, let's see what these people said. Let's see. Lord have mercy.
If reparations need to be paid, we need to go right back to the beginning of that supply chain and say who was rounding up their own people and having them handcuffed in cages.
Wow. For one, I got to stop it right here. Because when the Irish were going into Scotland and they were doing tyranny on them, did the Irish and Scottish consider each other the same people? When the Russians are going at the Germans, did they consider themselves the same people? When the Germans were going at the Jewish people, were they considered the same people? No. This misnomer of just saying, well, you know what, hey, all of us Europeans, we're all different people and our cultures are all different, but all you black people are all the same fucking people. That shit is fucking annoying, for one. That does not mean that we're the same damn people. These, and you can go back to the history, these are different tribes of people. There are people in Africa that will tell you, yes, we sold these other fucking people that were not our people. Sorry.
No, go ahead.
Schooled by comment. Let's see how she schooled him. Shit, get to the bitch talking. Or did I click the wrong one? And like, something I want to bring up that I don't know if a lot of people know this. We all know that do we know? Have anybody ever heard of the man by the name of Mansa Musa? Mansa Musa was literally the richest man ever in history out of Mali, or other known as Ghana. Mansa Musa was the wealthiest person. And all of a sudden, his kingdom went from being the wealthiest in the world. He went from being the wealthiest in the world to that part of the world being virtually like decimated. Where the fuck did all that money go? Huh? While we see his son, Prince William, also inherit his father's $1 billion Cornwall estate. Where do you think this money went? To these assholes in Europe. This is where Europe got all its wealth from to even start these slave trades and stuff, from pillaging through Africa. Why do you think that these African tribes even decided that let's go into the market of slavery and let's start selling people? Because all their other resources have been so. Why do you think that Somalians are out there? Why do you think there's such thing as Somali pirates? Because you decimated the area, so they started fishing. And then what did you do? Start running ships right through their lane and destroying their food source. It's the same thing when people are like, oh, why are those black people in the hood always selling drugs and doing all this stuff? You decimate their communities. And then you tell somebody, well, here's a possible so-called easy way to make money. You think people aren't going to take it? These are the same people who put the crabs into the bucket and then complain about the crabs in the bucket always pulling each other down. Who the fuck put the crabs in the bucket? None of these people ever look at this. It's always about, well, I'm not going to pay attention to what I did. I'm just looking at what you guys are doing now, what you people over there are doing. But let's continue. Where's it at? $42 billion in assets, including US $500 million from the Lake Queen. Wow. All stolen.
Well, I think you're right about reparations in terms of if people want it, though, what they need to do is you always need to go back to the beginning of a supply chain. Where was the beginning of the supply chain? When across the entire world, when slavery was taking place, which was the first nation in the world that abolished slavery? The first nation in the world to abolish it. It was started by William Wilberforce, was the British. In Great Britain, they abolished slavery. 2,000 naval men.
And why did you abolish slavery? Why did he abolish it? Because they invented machines that they no longer needed slavery anymore. They didn't just abolish it because they're like, you know what? This is wrong. They abolished it because they found another way to make more fucking money.
You know, Marcus, the problem with this respectability bullshit is that you have to sit there and let people talk shit like that as if that was what the real issue was. Nobody was even mentioning, nobody said who ended slavery first, right? Or who tried to stop it first. That wasn't a freaking issue. You know what I'm saying? The issue was actually reparations. And you're talking to me about this and that has nothing to do with it. That's when you need to mute her and be like, yo, chick, all right, enough. Let me educate you properly. And if you want to leave, leave. You can listen to it in the background as you're getting out.
Yeah, I mean, you can't sit there and be like, well, somebody else did this, so that completely gets me escape judgment. That lets me escape, you know, all the other shit that I did.
And there's nothing for her to take responsibility for. It's like, chick, you're 40 or 50 years old. Ain't nobody coming in like doing anything to you specifically at this moment. So for you to take that line, for you to say
I would, if she's a married woman, I would ask her this. So let's say that you and your husband get into an argument. You argue with your husband, then he goes out and sleeps with two of your friends. I guess by that logic, it's your fault then. Well, don't get mad at him for cheating on him because don't get mad at him for cheating on you because hey, you started the argument. I mean, the logic here is but this is somebody this is what happens when you're a privileged person and you wallow in your privilege. You don't want to acknowledge what was done. I mean, I see Thomas is in the building. What's up, Thomas? Gene, as if now federal government is able to pay racial reparations due to the U.S. Constitution allowing it, but the states and cities can. Maybe going by lineage, you're looking for ultra. Yeah, there's ways of doing it, just like Thomas brings up with the tribes. Tribes have found ways of doing it. There's a process, but here's the thing. Well, and I'm not even saying that the process which for the natives was even fair. I feel like they got literally pennies in the dollar. And I honestly feel like that was, let's throw them something so that they can shut up bitching about the fact that we stole their land and killed, and then we genocided many of their ancestors. Let's just shut them up real quick and give them something. Mm-hmm. But they feel like, you know what? Hey, you black people, we don't even feel obligated to pay something to shut you up.
Yeah, not even a minimal amount.
That's what, and I put it this way: if we were dealing with the same people who are running things now, I doubt the natives would even have gotten any reparations or reservations, because it seems like the people we're dealing with now are even their hearts and their mentality and their thinking is even far more corrupted than some of their corrupt ass ancestors going back, years from now. Let's man, goodness, it's only a 3-minute clip, and I can't even let it go because it's so much wrong with what this dumbass
died on the high seas.
I try not to call women bitches, but y'all might hear it slip tonight.
Is trying to stop slavery. Why? Because the African kings were rounding up their own people. They had them on cages.
Why were they rounding them up? Do you not know about Prince Henry of Portugal? Do you not know about that? Do you not know that Christopher Columbus in 1450s was helping round up these slaves? You don't know about this, that they were transporting them back to Portugal and Spain? You don't know any of this shit? Guarantee you don't.
Is waiting in the beaches. No one was running into Africa to get them. And I think you're totally right. If reparations need to be paid, we need to go right back to the beginning of that supply chain and say who was rounding up their own people and having them handcuffed in cages. Absolutely. That's where they should start.
No, they need to start with you guys. Just because they might have rounded up some of the people, who got over here in the Americas and started breeding farms and all that shit? Who's the one who kept it going for hundreds of years? You don't get to take, because they snatched people in one instance. That's something that might have taken, hey, they had possession of these people for months, and you guys kept them for centuries. You think that's equatable? Oh man.
And maybe, I don't know, the descendants of those families where they died in the high seas trying to stop the slavery, that those families should.
You're a fucking liar. There was nobody out on the high seas trying to stop shit. So shut that. Europe, literally every part of Europe had a part in this. These people say, well, we didn't own slaves. Okay, you guys were building the boat specifically for the slaves. You guys over here were funding the ship specifically for the slaves. You guys over here were building roads specifically for the slaves. I could sit here and go through damn near every nation in Europe, how they played a part and how their royal families got enormously wealthy off of the slave trade, and not just what they extorted out of Africa. And here's the thing, you want to talk about, well, they need to go to Africa first. Did you guys not go back after you've taken all the slaves out of Africa, after you stole the Americas from all the way to the tip of North America, all the way to the fucking bottom of South America, and then you went back over to Africa, and then you sat there and you expunged everything you can from them. The fact that a British woman, where the British Empire itself, that little tiny ass island, has went at 65% of the world, you guys have invaded or colonized, have the nerve to try to put the blame on anybody else. Ah, this bitch here.
Well,
sorry,
Marcus,
Chris,
the
you got
other
something
thing
to add?
too, yeah. The other part about it, and I guess we could discuss it later, but the whole idea of reparations is kind of stupid when you really think about it in totality, right? Because you're begging the people who subjugated you, treated you like shit, treat you like second class, third class people. You're going to go beg them for money. They control the money system. So who's to say if they decided tomorrow, you know, we're going to give you reparations? Who's to say they won't crash that fucking dollar the following day to make it worthless? And you're there with a bunch of paper. They could turn around and say, hey, we gave you reparations. We didn't know the market was going to crash and that the paper you're holding is worth nothing. You know what I mean? There's so many ways that they can manipulate the system once they gave you reparations. So again, to me, it's one of those things that, what is it? It's like the dog chasing the fire truck or something like that.
Yeah.
Is that what they say? Something to that
Yeah.
effect? No, you're never gonna get it. Stop bringing it. Like, it's never going to happen.
Well, and if you, well, it's like what
It's
Mr.
not in this
Street says.
country.
Mr. Street starts talking about, you know, just like the Native Americans, what they gave them is nothing close to what they took from them. Nothing close. How do you kill more than 100 million people? And that's a low estimate. That's just for North America. That's a low estimate. 100 million that you genocided. And then how much gold, how much oil, how much silver, how much timber, how much steel, how much of all of these things did you became literally the wealthiest nation of all time off of genociding a whole group of people. And Great Britain was just pissed off because they lost control of this colony temporarily.
Can you imagine even the ignorance of our own people when they start getting a check? Can you imagine what the stores at Gucci would look like? Prada, Chanel. These dumb motherfuckers would run right back to the same families of the people who did it to their ancestors, and they would give them that money right fucking back anyway. Like, obviously not everybody, but there's a large percentage of us who would do that same dumb shit.
Well, but you know, there's a lot that's went on with that. But I would feel like at least give us the opportunity to get back some of what you've stolen from us.
John, what's up, man?
John, I think it's John.
No, I was talking to John Kemper.
Oh, okay. No, I'm saying I get mixed up whether it's the the Americanized translation or the French translation.
Is it Jean?
Why?
Yeah.
Why do the 9 tribes constituting the Great Sioux Nation, including those of the Pine Ridge, hold strong and refuse to accept the 1.3 from federal government? Since I'm not of the Sioux Nation, I wouldn't want to assert what I believe. The Native American mixture in my family is not of the Sioux, so I wouldn't speak for them. But I do know of certain people, the French pronunciation. Okay, John. So the people that I know of in family that I know of from reservations, some of their resistance to it has been, it's like saying, okay, you give us this money and everything is all fine and good and we're straight. And also the fact that some of them feel that it's literally giving pennies on the dollar for you stealing so much from them. So, I mean, I get that. Wow, we haven't gotten to none of our topics. We've got so sidetracked tonight. Well, we did say off camera that we were going to talk about Biden a little bit, but
yeah.
Oh, I see Slow News Day is in the building. Much love to Slow News Day. I see John Kemper's in the building. Much love there also. I don't know. Y'all bring me onto some of these topics and it just gets me fired up. I'm sorry. My
Oh,
apologies.
the French pronunciation, Jean.
Yeah, I get fired up on some of this stuff because it's so aggravating and it's so insulting when they try to say some of this stuff. Because I mean, I look at it like this: if you're an indigenous person and you are speaking any Indo-European language, notice you have been colonized to the max. Dang, Jared, how many languages you speak? But let's go on to, you know what? Let's go into a little brevity. Let's mix this up. I saw this shit. This shit cracked me up. I couldn't believe this is real.
We should just start a comedy show after this too.
I can't. Yes, Matt Mark says, you know where I'm going. Said, make us laugh, MAGA Jackson. For y'all that don't know this, there is a man out there going by the name of MAGA Jackson. He has apparently gotten to the level where he has gotten very, very accepted into the MAGA scene. And so let's play a little, because like I know some of those people, they get so triggered about hearing the MAGA people. I'm just like, it is what it is. They can do their own thing, but let's get a little laugh. This is one of his songs called "The Trump Dance." Yeah, I thought it was freaking hilarious. Here we go.
When she was by, I'ma do the Trump dance. Rally time, I'ma do the Trump dance. TikTok vibes, I'ma do the Trump dance. I'ma do the Trump dance. I'ma do the Trump dance. Step on the scene, I'm in my bag, so fresh and so clean. Sipping that drink, I'm in the cut, few women with me. Feeling carefree, throwing my arms up like Trump in his thing. Move to the left and I move to the right, got them loving my steeds. I'm the Michael of MAGA, move after move, they can't even fathom. People mad at them, trying to divide, they wanna get at them. Shorty, she fine, looking my way like she wanna get at them. I make her mine, she down with the movement, she running with MAGA. Talking that chatter, it don't even matter. I got them pissed, like they got a weak bladder. I took a picture with Trump's son, whole world know Trump won. I took a picture with Trump's son, whole world know Trump won. When she was by, I'ma do the Trump dance. Rally time, I'ma do the Trump dance. TikTok vibes, I'ma do the Trump dance. I'ma do the Trump dance. I'ma do the Trump dance. They hear the song, they like, hey, yo. Hit the Trump dance like, hey, yo. Sauce up the meter, I am a teacher. I got the fire, turn up the speakers. She's a very fine Republican girl, with a whole team of Republican girls. And we fresh up off the rally for real.
Oh my God.
Left that MAGA for real. When I arrive, they feeling my vibe. Yeah. They know the sick love is like Mike is alive. This ain't black or white, it's my privilege. Trump dancing while my eyes glisten. When she was by, I'ma do the Trump dance. Rally time, I'ma do the Trump dance. TikTok vibes, I'ma do the Trump dance. I'ma do the Trump dance. I'ma do the Trump dance. When she was by, I'ma do the Trump dance. Rally time, I'ma do the Trump dance. TikTok vibes, I'ma do the Trump dance. I'ma do the Trump dance. I'ma do the Trump dance.
Tell the truth, Chris. You want to go do the Trump dance, don't you? Tell the truth. You want to do the Trump dance? Go ahead, do it. Give us a little Trump dance. With little baby arms.
Yo, Steve is stupid. He looked like a combination of like John McCain. It looked like John McCain trying to like lift his arms, right? I think Thomas said it. He said they're a bunch of goofs. Yo, they're so fucking whack, yo. You still You still gargling this dude's kids like that? Still?
But here's the thing. Here's the thing. I got to show you guys this also.
Marcus, no, I can't take my patience.
No. I'm not gonna give you another. I'm not gonna give you another. I'm not gonna play another song. Trust me, I'm not playing another one. But this I found interesting. I reached out to the person who, and it's some interesting stuff here. It says, "Beware, MAGA Jackson, aka Andre Van, aka Geppetto Jackson, aka King Aki Ake Karan Muhammad is a criminal scammer / con man."
Is he from Nigeria?
He might as well be. These are his arrests. Right here, he's arrested in New Braunfels. Where was it?
Yeah, right, Thomas.
Here he's arrested here in Osceola. Oh yeah, he's down in your area. He's down in Florida.
Oh, he's down here, of course, yeah.
Osceola again. Here he is in Orange, getting arrested. Osceola again.
So he's in like
Hillsborough.
Orlando.
Yeah, he's in Central. It looks like he's in Central Florida.
Yeah.
I can't see that one. No, that's Hillsborough also. So for those who don't know, Hillsborough is Tampa. Osceola is like Orlando area. Here he is. Here he's a Muslim.
Oh, hold on, Marcus, real quick. Marcus Thomas said if you gave me some tequila, that I might do the Trump dance, right? Yo, they can have my kid.
It's catchy. It's catchy. I'll give him that.
Marcus, they can have both my kids hostage, and they would like do the dance with for your kids. I'll tell my kids I'll see them on the other side. I ain't doing it.
I mean, yeah. Gosh, I'm like, this is craziness. And then what else? Then, because there's one in particular that I want to show you. Oh yeah, here it is. And I responded to her. Let's read it. It says, "This man out here doing it again. He and his guy making up profiles and still asking, trying to get money. This man tried to get me, and I wasn't falling for it. I watched him talk to people on the phone and really lie to people. Yeah, you weren't falling for it. No, you fell for it, and now you just admit it. Just let's be honest. This man's so deep into bullshit. People, it comes naturally. That's what's crazy is who believe this. He has his friend, his friend's picture on a date and chat line, and he play. I don't know what that is. He gets women. To room, buy things, and I sure did play along because I seen how real the bullshit was. But spending time and having him around, he's not so right with what he does. He got talent, but very wise and sneaky. Boy, a good liar. Got people buying stuff. He print up himself and crazy. So basically, the gist of this is, this dude is a fucking con man. And the MAGA shit is just the way he's initiating his newest con. So, yeah, that's why I'm like, you can't take any of this shit he's saying serious. You know this is a complete con. Say Slow News, they say he looks like that Muslim that pull up in a red Lambo's out. Mm-hmm. Oh, so true. So true. Oh my goodness. So yeah, I just wanted to bring that up because somebody showed me that at work the other day. And I learned that now, I guess, what was it? Trump's speech he had the other day. Trump came in with the instrumental of one of MAGA Jackson's songs. So now this dude has gotten up to the level of the former president of the United States with his conning. So I wouldn't be surprised if 2024 you guys see more of MAGA Jackson all over the place. Just letting you know.
So is he part of like Blacks for Trump?
Yes. Oh, he's doing videos about the Vietnamese for Trump, like Asians for Trump, like all of these for Trump people.
You know what? Go get your bag. Go get your bag, dog. You know, make your money, whatever. Go get your bag. You know.
Yeah.
It is what it is. Look, if stupid people want to make you famous and they want to give you money for, basically clowning them, then it is what it is. But again, this also helps me stay the fuck away from politics. You know what I'm saying? Because this is all part of it. And again, just the idea that the Trump people are still talking about him. It's like, does he got naked pictures of your mom or something? Like, what is it?
I do not know. So yeah, let's skip on to our next one. I know I dragged us down with a lot of this craziness. Yeah, I'm not even gonna address the MAGA communism stuff. I think it's just everybody's trying something and they're just throwing stuff at the wall. And I've just come to the realization that the system is fucked. Period. It is what it is. And they're going to run everything into the fucking ground. And that's just it. Let's go on to, this is that story. I'll put it on the screen. Al mismo de dos muertos causó un fuerte sismo registrado en México en el aniversario de dos terremotos. So basically, 2 dead cause of a strong earthquake in Mexico on the anniversary of these earthquakes. Roughly paraphrasing. But I want to show this video real quick. Wait a minute, no sound? Let me go back.
What is going on with the sound? We cannot hear.
There you go. Oh.
Resultado heridas y unas 200 edificaciones han sufrido daños luego de un potente sismo registrado el día de ayer en la costa suroeste del país. Desde la Ciudad de México, Eduardo Meléndez nos acompaña con la última información. Buenas tardes, Eduardo, te escuchamos.
Gracias a todos, buenas tardes. 22 de la mañana siguen de 5 puntos Richter.
Yeah, it has over
de 7.7 grados.
Structural damage to over 200 buildings. Flooding, you had a lot of different things that were going on, and overall 2 dead in here. But I wanted to show this because this goes, they're talking about basically how this earthquake has basically happened on the same day where, I think it was in 85 that there was one. So and one like 2 years ago or 3 years ago. I'm just trying to paraphrase it real quickly, but over and over and over, there's been multiple earthquakes that have happened on this day in particular, September 20th. And so here I will show you guys like some of the video footage.
En la escala de Richter que ayer azotó al país. La réplica más fuerte es de 5.8 grados y esta se suscitó a las 3:22 de la mañana. Siguen en alerta máxima todas las autoridades, tanto del gobierno federal como de las estatales y municipales, precisamente para atender cualquier situación que se dé. Y bueno, en el saldo que se ha contabilizado al momento, resulta el estado de Colima, algunos de los más afectados. Aquí lamentablemente perdieron la vida 2 personas, una a consecuencia de la caída de una barda y otra a consecuencia de la caída del techo dentro de un gimnasio. En ambos casos se presentaron unidades médicas, sin embargo, nada pudieron hacer por salvarles la vida. Importante destacar que al momento, al menos en Colima, hay 153 viviendas afectadas, hay 20 inmuebles de hospitales también afectados y 20 personas lesionadas. En Michoacán se contabilizan al momento 30 escuelas pues también dañadas, 20 unidades médicas también con daños estructurales y también una persona lesionada por una caída de una barda. Importante destacar que los 3 órdenes del gobierno están tratando de asegurar y rehabilitar el abasto de agua potable y también rehabilitar el servicio de energía eléctrica que dejó de funcionar para cerca de 1,5 millones de personas. Este es al momento el saldo del sismo que ayer castigó severamente al país y bueno, las réplicas continúan y por supuesto que nosotros también continuaremos pendientes de la información que se genere. Esto desde la Ciudad de México. Muy buenas tardes.
No. Don't put it on. Stop. But yeah, I wanted to go into that because it's just Baba says man-made. I don't know. I mean, I don't know. Didn't they have 2 earthquakes this month? Yeah, but the other earthquakes they had were smaller and they were in different regions. I believe the other one was Mexico City. That one is in Michoacan, and I think the Culiacan area also, and that led to the earthquakes were so powerful, it actually led to tremors all the way up to Arizona, which you heard Uncle Warren talking about earlier.
And that's wild, man.
Yeah, let me
Sort of have that impact. It's really crazy.
Yeah, here it is, the article. Let me read it. Put it on the screen. Yeah, no, yeah, cookies. You guys want my cookies all the time. Let's see. And then, of course, countless amounts, people who were hospitalized and random injuries. Let's see. Mexico earthquake triggers desert tsunami 1,500 miles away in Death Valley. About 5 minutes after the 7.6 magnitude earthquake hit near Mexico's southwest coast Monday, typically calm water deep in the Death Valley National Park cave started sloshing against the surrounding limestone. The reverberations of the earthquake, more than 1,500 miles away, created what experts call a desert tsunami, which on Monday made waves erupt up to 4 feet high in the cave known as Devil's Hole. Ew. A pool of water about 10 feet wide, 70 feet long, and more than 500 feet deep in the Armagosa Valley, Nevada. The water in the partially filled cave has become an unusual indicator of seismic activity across the world. The earthquakes across the globe, as far as Japan, Indonesia, and Chile, causing the water to slosh up Devil's Hole. Causing the water to slosh up Devil's Hole, according to the National Park website. I'm sorry.
The water.
Just the way they phrased that was just. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it said causing the water to splash up Devil's Hole. They playing with us, man. When you wrote that, whoever edited, they didn't read that and say like, yeah, you should
Yeah, you should not say that way.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm sure there's a video out there. Only 5.8. I think that angle is on sand, and it makes correct, G. John, sorry. It is on sand. That's what makes it worse. That 7.6. That's the reason why it reached all the way as far away as Arizona. Let's see. What do we have over on the rock fins? Let's see. What did she say last? Sorry, I went on my rant and gotten behind on the comments. Let's see what we got over here. I got so much stuff open. It's hard to keep up with it all. But at least if I know the public knows the problem, how to fix it, it should be enough to help them survive to some extent. Yeah, this system is just far too corrupted. But we also have that going on, and then a little bit closer to home, I wanted to show this also. This is the bridge in Puerto Rico, which is got destroyed. I don't know if you guys heard about it. Of course, like Fiona has now moved away from the island. Last I heard that it was it built up steam and it's giving hell to Bermuda. Man, I'm always so tongue-tied. But here we go. Yeah, so not only have you've had a handful of deaths there, you have majority of the island still without power. And so even though the storm wasn't as massive as going back to Hurricane Maria, it's still, because of a lot of things have not been fixed. Power grids are still patchy in a lot of areas. Some roads were never completely rebuilt. It's even though this was not as strong as some of the other ones, it still did a lot of damage to the island. Just because of the fact of, so much of it is still battered from, Hurricane Maria, which still hadn't gotten fixed from Trump and a lot of those other people. So it's a lot going on. I didn't even have time to get into what's going on in Nigeria and Ethiopia. It's all kind of stuff over there. And then, also to mention what's going on in Iran, where they're having like massive protests out in the streets. It's a lot that's been going on, whether it's been natural disasters or kind of turmoil that's going on. Just wanted to, prayers to all those people out there. Let's see. Yipper says, I am surprised. What was it? The news didn't say a Russian hurt. Yeah, I'm surprised.
Yes, Bob, but Puerto Rico is they screwed up all over again.
Mm-hmm. Fiona's, oh wow, it's already up there. Joan says Fiona hit Nova Scotia and the Canadian islands last night. Damn. This thing is vicious. I mean, because and that does make some sense, because of the fact of whenever it does hit the Caribbean and it starts, picking up all that steam to the point where because what it'll do is, for those who are not familiar with that area and how that stuff works, a lot of times when it comes into the Caribbean, it might hit Haiti, Dominican Republic, and Cuba and Puerto Rico at like a 1 or 2, or be a tropical storm, and Jamaica also. They'll get a lot of the bands. I don't know. Jamaica's like a lot of times kind of. They don't really get it as worse. They get a little protected.
They've been lucky.
They've been very, very lucky. And then what happens is when it goes back out and starts going back out into the Atlantic, it starts picking up strength again. And then a lot of times it'll go across either up Florida and do some damage. Florida, it might go into the Gulf and start doing some damage there. That's what happened with the storm which hit New Orleans area. Or it'll ride itself all the way up the Atlantic and then tear up shit all the way up. And that's why when you guys start hearing about nor'easters and stuff like that, that's normally coming off of, the remnants of a hurricane.
Oh yeah, we by Tuesday or Wednesday here, or really Wednesday here, we'll see, how much we get. It looks like here in South Florida on my side, it looks as if we'll be getting hit with like the outer bands, but the way it spins, it looks like it's going to be crazy.
Yeah,
look, I went to
Puerto Rico
I went to Walmart, already everything off the shelf. There's not a single pack of water. Everything gone up.
Oh, I remember how it used to be. Even though I was in Jacksonville typically gets spared because of just the way the jet stream hits. As it goes up the coast, it pushes back out, and so Jacksonville just gets beat with the bands a lot of times, and gets flooding and issues like that. But normally, and you might have a couple of small twisters that'll pop up, but you normally don't get really hit hard.
On the west side of Florida, though, like for St. Pete, possibly Tampa, Fort Myers,
they do get hit.
Naples, on that side, they may take a direct hit. So we'll see, though, because you know what? I have to check the European models, because all the American models are like, run out and go spend money because you're gonna die. The European model,
it's always and that's the reason why you have all those people who are in Central Florida who don't heed the warnings, and then shit hits them, and then they're all fucked up. because American models always tell you it's the worst one ever, and then it dies down, and then they've gotten to the point where they're like, man, we don't believe you.
Yeah,
and that's what also happened with New Orleans. You know,
Yes.
so
Ruby
yeah,
be
I'm
safe.
saying, Ruby, Jared, don't get me started on Promesa. Please don't get me started on that. 'Cause that'll be a whole nother tangent. You know, I might even do a whole show to bitch about Promesa. For those who don't know about Promesa, look it up. You know, Promesa and the Jones Act, don't get me started on any of that shit. Baba, exactly. That's why being prepared puts you ahead of the sheep zombie masses. Exactly. Everybody thinks the zombies that they put in this show is literally about dead people coming back to life. What it is, the zombies are these people out here who don't get it and who are not paying attention to what's going on. Those are the real zombies. What's
really are.
Promesa? Promesa is, through some of the acts which they've done, the U.S. government, it's created high taxes in Puerto Rico, and it's incurred a lot of debt on the island. Some of that due to corruption on the island, some of that due to some of the different laws and legislation which has been done by America. What Promesa which Promesa in English means promise. It was legislation which was supposed to solve the debt crisis on the island, which all that did was make a lot of things much, much worse. So I just want to say, look into it. I don't really want to go all the way into it. It's a very sensitive, because the island could be so much more prosperous if America wasn't doing all the shit that they do to it. If it was like the Jones Act, if they just repealed the Jones Act, how much that would make a difference to the island. But they don't want a difference to the island. That's the reason why anything that's a Commonwealth of the United States never does well, i.e. anything that's a Commonwealth of the US or Great Britain or France or any of these areas, because this is what colonizers do. Some of the areas have been able to avoid, some of the harsh, punishments and treatments of these colonizers over the years. And now what people will say in modern day is they'll kind of, pacify everything and make it seem like it's not as bad, because they've already extracted so much that they're good. And so if you've stolen so much money from me that you don't have to worry about anything, now you can take the foot off my neck a little bit. That doesn't make all what you've done go away. It doesn't erase the pain what you've done. I mean, America's like that angry husband or boyfriend who comes down and gets drunk, beats up on his wife and kids, and then the next morning he just wants to hug and say, let's just all forget about it. Doesn't fix all the bruises and pain and trauma that you've just put on your family. That's America. That's all these European nations. Let's just ignore it. Let's get over it. Everything's fine now. I'm not beating on you right now.
I was gonna say our boy Denver, he just clocked in on the Rockfin, so just shoot him a shout out.
Oh, okay. I see. Hey, what's up, Denver? Denver says the old 80s Romero flick from the 80s, Dawn of the Dead, where they survive in a shopping mall. Oh, I remember that one. That's one of the few that I really kind of liked. Mindless consumers equal zombies. Good reference there. Good.
Wait. Am I missing something in the chat where they talking about hurt jaws and dry?
I don't know what that. I don't know what that's going on there about the hurt jaws and stuff. I don't know.
And then tension and relax. I don't know.
I'm not touching that. We already talked about sloshing around booties and stuff like that. So I'm not gonna,
and the devil's hole and shit like that.
Devil's holes and stuff. I got this other video I want to switch gears and go into what's going on over here with the troop surges in Russia. So let's hop onto that real quick.
Is Zelensky still the main actor? I mean, president?
Yes, he is. One of these days, honestly, on Rockfin, we might do like a watch party. Let's watch some movie and just break it down and go into it. Baba talked about They Live, which that's a classic. That's a great one. If you haven't seen it, go and check that movie out. Stretch jaw, damn. Oh, I don't know what y'all
it's right.
Yo. I don't know what y'all talking about out there. Let's see. All right, here it is.
Keep it regular. What you mean, Yipper?
Has ordered the country's first partial mobilization of reservists since World War II. He's accusing the West of engaging in nuclear blackmail against Russia.
I want to remind those who allow themselves such statements about Russia that our country also has a variety of weapons of destruction, and in some areas, even more modern than those in NATO countries. And if the territorial integrity of our country is threatened, we will without question use all the means at our disposal to protect Russia and our people. This is not a bluff.
Well, international condemnation has been swift. Germany's vice chancellor among them. He says that Russia's announcement of a partial mobilization is a bad move.
This is another terrible and wrong step by Russia, which we will of course assess politically and discuss how to respond to it. In any case, for me and the German government, it's clear that we will continue to fully support Ukraine during this difficult time.
According to the Russian defense minister, 300,000 reservists will now be called up to fight in Ukraine in what is being seen as a significant escalation. It comes after the Ukrainian counteroffensive in the country forced Russian troops to retreat from some occupied territory. Western nations are also criticizing Moscow's plans to hold rapid referendums in parts of Ukraine that are under Russian control. The US, Germany, and France are among those saying they would never recognize the results of such ballots. US President Joe Biden and Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelensky will address world leaders later at the United Nations General Assembly. Earlier, pro-Russian leaders announced referendums in Lugansk, Donetsk, Kherson, and Zaporizhia provinces. These areas represent around 15% of Ukrainian territory. The Russian defense minister says more than 5,000 Russian soldiers have been killed since the start of the conflict, but has dismissed claims by Kyiv and the West that Russia has suffered heavy losses. According to Shoigu, 90% of wounded Russian soldiers have since returned to the front line. Later, US President Joe Biden will try and rally the world against the Russian invasion of Ukraine in that speech to the United Nations General Assembly in New York. Well, for more on this, Lieutenant Colonel Glenn Grant, who's a defense expert at the Baltic Security Foundation, joins me live now.
Pause it real quick, Marcus. Pause it.
Okay, hold on.
And now a defense and security expert for the Ukrainian Institute for the Future. And
yep.
It's funny. What did he just say? Baltic what corporation? I can't remember. But again, this is what happens all the time.
Let's back it up just a little bit.
Yeah.
Let's see what he said.
Defense and security expert for the Ukrainian Institute.
For the Ukrainian Institute.
No. Hold on. He's going to say the name is Baltic.
Live now from Kiev, Lieutenant Grant is formerly of the British Army and now a defense and security expert for the Ukrainian Institute for the Future and for the Ukrainian Parliament as well. Lieutenant, thanks for being there. First of all, what is...
Okay, yeah, he said basically former British general, and
Yeah, I thought he had said something else. But with that being said,
I thought he said something about the Baltics too.
Yeah, that's what I thought as well. The funny thing is this happens all the time here. And people at this stage should be able to point this out or like catch it. There's propaganda in the works. This is a
Oh,
guy
yeah.
who wants war, right? He's going to benefit from it a lot. So just keep in mind when you see these people on television, if you are still watching these types of programs or just television in general, just be careful when you watch the so-called guests. They there to push something. They're not there like honestly, like, oh, I like what you have to say. Come on, you're a guest. No, they are put there on purpose. This person is not going to tell you to end the war. He's going to tell you what needs to be done to escalate it.
Well, another thing is he put out that almost 5,000 Russians have been killed, or over 5,000, and they put 6,000, of course, to try to let's just round it up. But he didn't say how many Ukrainians have been killed. You notice that part? They didn't mention that.
Correct.
Because that number is insane. I mean, the number of dead Ukrainian soldiers is out the roof, and he didn't want to say that amount. I mean, that 5,000 or so, it's very well possible that within a week, Ukrainians are losing that many. I would say far more. I would say, yes, hundreds of thousands, Baba. So we're talking about, they've lost about 5,000 according, let's say round up 6,000 to their, hundreds of thousands that they've lost. Probably 100 to 200,000 that they've easily lost. Another thing they're not mentioning is how many of these troops that are Ukrainians are actually Ukrainians. How many of these are not NATO troops who are fighting now? They're not just sending weapons. That's the reason why Putin is talking about, hey, we might start ratcheting up things, because he knows that he ain't just fighting Ukrainians anymore.
No,
it's
not.
Clearly obvious. I can't remember who it was, but somebody showed a video where you hear the soldiers in Ukraine running around, and they have very, very clear American accents and speaking English. You see, and it's not like, oh, well, there's one American within a group of Ukrainians. That whole group or battalion was all Americans. And they're not just some voluntary force. You can tell by the way these guys are moving. And what I mean by the way they're moving is, let me drop the screen for a sec. What I mean by the way they're moving is, you got one, exactly, John Kemper, mercenaries over there, Marcus, you know the deal. They got one guy, he's the point man, he's looking forward. The second, they got the wall right here as basically their face, and they're using the wall for their cover. And they're exactly. So you got one, he's the point man there. You got another one who's the point man across there. You got another one who's kind of looking in almost like a 45 from this angle, watching the wall. And then the man who's farthest on the back, he's going backwards like this, keeping the approach for anybody who's coming to the tail of them. You do not just have random troops. There's some random Americans going over there who have that kind of training. Who, okay, you got this guy looking forward, this guy over here, this guy who's looking up top, this guy who's sweeping across the bottom in case that there might be people in the rough or at the ground who are these are trained soldiers, which you see very clearly. And I mean, that video I watched was maybe 10 seconds of seeing it, but anybody who's been around that, you can see it clear as day that these are obvious mercs. These are obvious either former, even if they're just infantry. These are guys who have served time in either a combat zone or done training in combat zone, whether they're infantry, to whether they're spec ops, to whether they are, the ground forces of CIA, or whether they're embedded into other militaries. I mean, they could be in former military in the Foreign Legion. Okay, on ahead. But it's clear these are not Ukrainians. I mean, and another thing which I would try to impart, whenever you see people that move that way, These are people that all have the similar training. They've all been trained together. That's the reason why they have that familiarity and comfort to move the way they're moving, as fast as they're moving, and moving on to the next rally points. They are not fighting Ukrainians. I mean, they might be fighting some, but you can tell that there's a heavy push of NATO soldiers involved. Mr. Street says NATO command centers with NATO artillery and satellite. Yeah, I mean, not too far from there are plenty of Americans right over into Poland. Anybody who thinks that America does not send troops behind so-called enemy lines, that's something that we do in every single war front that we've ever done. America always breaks the rules and sends troops into areas that they are not supposed to be going in, or that we told everybody, we're not going in those areas. We don't have any troops in there. And so normally when you send in those kind of troops, just from my experience, what I've seen, that tells you that these aren't even just some infantry guys. These are people which you believe know how to operate in a level that they can accomplish missions and get out without leaving any casualties behind, to point back to the fact that they were there. But now somehow some of this video footage and body cam footage and stuff is starting to leak out. Yes, Ukrainians have accents when speaking English. These guys have no accents. Baba says there's more video footage of civilians being murdered in the streets from Ava Bartlett. Yeah, she does great work. I mean, that woman, nerves of steel, spine of steel, because she knows she is on a hit list, without no doubt in my mind. Just like they did to Shireen in Israel, the Palestinian reporter who they took out. She has to be careful, because I know that they have her on that same kind of list. And in actuality, we're kind of dealing with some of the same forces, you know. I'll leave it at that. It's NATO Army for all intents and purposes. Well, NATO Army is infused with a lot of Americans. Thomas says a few weeks ago, Russia had military drills with China, India, and a few other countries. Iran is agreeing to make trade deals with Russia and China. America is alienating countries and making them allies. That's the reason why, like, I mean, some other people, they look at this as America is in a form of a controlled demolition. I don't think it's that. I think that the enemies of America have finally gotten to the point where they feel strong enough that they can push back. And that's what we're seeing. And we're seeing an America who's like, who the hell do you think you are? We're America. You better back the fuck down. I'll take on you. I'll take on you. I'll take on you. You remember Denzel in Training Day at the end?
Oh, you.
Yes. Exactly. Shoe program, nigga. That's what I'm seeing. I'll have you motherfuckers playing basketball in Pelican Bay. That's what I see going on. America is literally trying to punk everybody like, yo, I still got the juice. And they don't really got the juice no more. And people are like, we're not scared of you like that no more, son. Sit down. Yes. Patrick Lancaster is back in Ukraine. Oh, goodness. And the brave people. Only way I would be in something like that is I gotta be forced to be there, and I gotta have a gun in my hand and a vest on. I'm not running around with a camera and a microphone. Hell no. I mean, it's like when I used to do armored truck, and cops would tell me, it's like, you motherfuckers are brave. I would not be doing this shit. It's like, y'all don't have no backup. Y'all don't have nothing. It's just you out there with your pistol and hoping the man in the truck will get out and shoot if shit gets crazy. But I mean, these people are running around. It's just like when I had an opportunity to do some private work, and it would have been in what was it, Afghanistan or Iraq? I can't remember. I think it was Afghanistan. Yeah. But they were telling me, like, yeah, you drive convoys, but you won't get a weapon. And you don't get a map either. You just follow the convoy. I mean, Fuck that. Not doing it. So let's see. John says, why are people of the EU putting up with this nonsense? The reason why is because they're in a lesser of two evils kind of situation. They're like, they feel like they have more to lose from bucking against America. That's the reason why they go with it. Even though, because like, and the thing is, since all of their situations with Russia are different, you have different dynamics that are going on. You have, for instance, Great Britain, they're not really losing much against, fighting against Russia or pushing back against Russia. They're in the same boat as the US. But you have somebody on the other end of the spectrum, like Italy, like Germany, they actually hurting right now. And they actually about to be really hurting soon. And so for them, they're actually losing more from bucking against Russia. But
Marcus,
yeah.
Denver says NATO going out like Tony Montana, coked out, mountain of coke on his desk.
Yes, Denver, exactly.
He's grabbing a fully automatic rifle with the grenade launchers. The whole world is mine.
Exactly. That and I think what it is so many Americans can't fathom a solution where it's just the America is just losing. It's like, no, what's happening? Because I heard this song, was it Redacted? They were like, what's really happening is America's doing a form of controlled demolition. And then what they're going to do is it's to strip down the borders to have a globalist. No, that's not what's going on. I know some people want to believe that, oh, well, they're just going to transfer their power source to China and just rule from China. And China is just going to be like, yeah, fine and dandy. Just keep watching. Just we'll sit back in the wings and just let you control our country. Like, that's not what's happening, people. You're watching an empire die.
Look, you know what, too?
Yeah.
But Marcus, to that extent, like we're watching it die, so to speak. The people of England are real foolish because they're still there's a lot of people who showed up for that bitch's funeral who are still very who are still very trusting of the royal family and think that they should, pay for their lifestyle while you struggle, right? So you know what? For today, they're the weakest link in the chain. The Britain, you should be ashamed of yourself. It's one thing when politicians take advantage of you, but y'all have politicians and y'all have the royal family. Like, don't ever talk to us about being tough again. Y'all are softer than baby shit. And y'all lined up to people.
Well, and you're right. What it is with the royal family, when you sit so isolated for so long up on your throne, and you're not seeing what's going on down on the battlefield, you're not seeing the real mechanization of how things are really working. It's easy for you to say, oh, yeah, we're not giving them our full energy. If we just fight a little harder and do this, we'll destroy them. It's easy to be that arrogant and confident, especially like if you think about it. How many prize fighters have we seen that come in on an undefeated record and know they can't lose? I mean, in their mind, there's no possible way I'm losing to this guy. And then go in and end up, hey, Tyson, I'm trying to remember what was his name. Not Riddick, bro. Shit. James Buster Douglas. Yeah. Knock on wood. But yeah, Buster Douglas. That's what's going on. I disagree, Slow News Day. I disagree. I mean,
Slow News Day.
From Slow News Day, it says it's a relocation of the capital of the Roman Empire. It's definitely not going to give to China, but it's definitely not on purpose. Well, here's the thing. The whole Western Empire is crashing down, and you can't move the Western Empire outside of the West. There's nowhere to go but to another West. Now, they've had no problem with saying, okay, well, Rome is the center now. Okay, boom, we can move that to, okay, now Spain is the center now. Okay, well, because even before that, it went from Greece to Rome, from Rome to Italy, from Italy to France for a short bit, and then over to England, and then from England to the US. there's nowhere else to go. And you got to remember, the Western Empire has literally, I mean, they have Rick James, to Eddie Murphy, they couch everywhere they went. You know what I'm talking about? The fuck your couch. They have done that everywhere around the world. You can't. There's nowhere for them to go where there's a warm landing. There's nowhere to go.
They be trying to put their feet all on your couch, but you just take the covers off, you wash it, and that's it. You know what I'm saying?
Well,
you just get them out your house.
Right, correct. It's not going to Beijing. It's going to Amsterdam. But Amsterdam don't have no military. Here's the thing. The only reason why let's say the modern Western Empire has been able to stand. The only reason why the Roman Empire or the Spanish or the British or any of these empires are able to stand is because of their military. Once you lose the military might, you lose all the rest of that. Because
that's it.
All another person has to do is run you over, and Amsterdam ain't protecting shit. Amsterdam can't fight off any of these nations.
They can, but
but you would have to take all of the militaries from all these Western powers to protect Amsterdam in particular. Amsterdam is way too close to Russia for that to work. You're getting mud stomped. That's because all they would have to do if they decide to move those powers to Amsterdam is mobilize all of the Russian military in a World War III type, in traditional. Yeah, but all you have to do is take over that infrastructure, and now you're in charge of the
Hold on, Marcus. I think you're not looking at it from the right angle. Amsterdam gonna give them prostitutes and weed like it's a rap.
No, I see what I see is the Western powers have had a good run for the past they've controlled everything for the past let's say 600 years. No empire continues on forever. Every empire, they ass go down. And this is just because they have all these grandiose plans that, we're gonna supplement robot people and we're gonna do this, and you can have all the plans you want. Rome had all these plans too before they went down and broke into all these smaller empires. Greece had all these plans too before they broke apart. What's the other one I'm thinking of? The Persians. The Persians had all these goals. The Medes had all these goals. Everybody always has a goal on what they're going to do when they don't think they're going to lose. But that's I mean, we could always nobody knows for a fact. I just disagree with that. It's just a lateral move to somewhere else. I think that they're done. I just think that the rest of the world has finally caught up, and they're strong enough to push back. And the moment they're strong enough to push back, they're going to push back. They're not going to just say, "Well, we'll stay second class citizens to the Western world."
Okay, so Marcus, let me play devil's advocate here, right? So the leaders, controllers of all these countries, though, aren't they all somewhat in cahoots? Don't they all participate in all of these global?
Yes and no.
Yes
and no.
Okay.
And the reason why I say yes and no is because majority of these powers are in Western countries. But the handful who are not in Western countries, you don't think that they've been sitting there waiting and looking for their opportunity to rise up to the top and take over the whole table? They don't. I mean, it's the same thing that you see with any mob organization, and you have all these capos who are on the same level sitting up under the Major Don. The moment there's an opening to take the Don out, the moment there's an opening, all the capos are going to be trying to look for how can I jump succession to take over. And China and Russia are at China, Russia, India, all these countries are at a point they've never been in well, I'm not gonna say never, but I'll say in these past 500, 600 years, they have not been in the power to be able to push back against the West. They've never been able. They haven't been able to push back since the West has been strong. Now that they have that ability, it's hard for me to believe that they're going to keep on playing the game. It's kind of like this, there's a lot of us who go to work and we deal with shit. We deal with shit because we don't have the power to push back against it. The moment you have the power to push back against it, you don't continue to tolerate it. Yeah, I just have a hard time. Again, well, but it is still about nation states, because certain continents are not playing the same game that the Western powers are playing. The Western powers, they don't care, because they say, oh, well, you're Great Britain, I'm America. They don't see any difference. We're all the same. But India don't see it that way. India, they don't think that way. Russia doesn't think that way. China doesn't think that way. Japan, they're only a vassal state because they've gotten, after getting nuked, they don't want to I don't want the smoke now. But all of these nations go back to a huge pride in nation. A huge pride in nation. America doesn't have that so much because this is a corporation with a bunch of people from all these other places, so there's no real national identity. But these other places, they still do. You're still looking at Western powers as a block. It's not. No, it is. It's still a block. The WEF, yeah, but the WEF, I look at it as, like I said, it's mob bosses. It is a group of mob bosses, and all these other people are on the same playing field, but these other people are not, and they've only been taking it because they've had to take it. They're not. Here's the thing. Would you want somebody to keep dictating to you how things are going to go and keep exploiting you when, if you have an opportunity to take them out, take them out? I don't see it as, yeah, let's just continue to be subservient to whatever the West decides to do. That logic. Because it's like saying that the wealthy black people in this country like being under what the white wealthy people keep telling them to do. That's not how it works. They do it because they make money and it keeps them safe, but that's not what they ultimately, if they had their own choice, they wouldn't be doing that. And I think that's a blind spot that a lot of people have, that they feel like, oh, these other nations that have been exploited for God knows how long would want to continue to be exploited. Let's see. I disagree. I see it as a mob. I do still see it as a mob. The bankers, how did they become what they are? Because they're a mob loans money just like a bank. It's all, to me, it's all the same thing. I just see that the Western powers are about to die. Let's see. Let's see. On to the next subject. We still got what? Eddie. Oh, we got two more subjects to get into. I don't know if y'all have seen this about Eddie Griffin. I don't know. Maybe we can have this debate one of these days. I disagree with the narrative that most people have, that everybody in the WEF, they're all kumbaya. I know you're not arguing. This is all. This is in love. It's just a disagreement that I've had with everybody else's take on it. That a lot of people on the left or independent or libertarian, they all see it as the WEF, and I do agree that they are a part of the arm and that they've had complete control. I just see that as ceasing. I don't see that as something that's just something that will continue on and on and on, and that there's no end to it. I don't see it. I mean, even if we go back to trying to remember what was his name, that were on the Lusitania and the Titanic. Those were two people within the Western part who disagreed with what they were trying to do, and they took them out. I mean, it goes back to the same thing with the what's their names? The Romanovs. there's always strifes and struggles, and I don't see them as just they're all working together seamlessly. I mean, I've always felt that. Even friends, the French, I felt like they have been resistantly forced to follow along. What was I going to look up? Oh, that's right. Eddie Griffin. What was it? I don't know why this isn't popping straight up. Oh, what's it? Naked Truth. I don't know if y'all have seen this. Let's put it up. Yeah, I mean that. I know that I'm probably in the minority for in that thinking. I just disagree with the viewpoint a lot of other content creators have, as far as, you know, oh well, they're all homogenous and it's just going to move on to another center. I think, like, I don't feel like this is a controlled demolition. I feel like this is an actual demolition. This isn't going according to their plan. Where's that video? I just saw it. Oh shit, wrong one. Wrong one. Dang it. Literally no one's. Damn it, where is it at? Let me find this video. Can't find it. I don't even know. I got stuff playing here in the background. I don't know what the heck is going on. Trying to get it. Maybe I just need to send it to myself. But you know which one I'm talking about, right, Chris?
Mm-mm.
The one I shared with you.
Oh,
because Eddie Griffin has 2 channels apparently.
Got you. You want me to pull it up?
Yeah, go ahead and pull it up. It'll make it easier because I cannot find it. Oh, Uncle Warren had to jump out. Says no, you're in the majority with your viewpoint again. No one is suggesting they're homogenous. It's just I feel like I don't feel like I'm in the majority. I feel many people don't. They either believe the WEF is for the most part working the worldwide agenda, or they feel nation states, and I feel there's a mixture of the two.
Check your inbox in the meantime.
Twitter, phone, which one?
Your Twitter. I just sent it to you there from my phone.
On my Twitters. Which let me see, which one did you send it to? Oh, can you send it to the Young Morpheus one? Is it in that one? Yeah, send it to the Young Morpheus one. I just want to have.
Yeah, I did. I sent it there too.
Okay, let's back up. Oh, duh, because I'm looking at my own messages to me. There we go. Okay, now do you remember roughly where it was?
Oh, was it like, I think I may even have it on. Let me see.
I think it was maybe. I think it was maybe about 10 minutes in, right? Yeah.
Okay, so it's like around the 7-minute mark, or maybe
I found it. You said 7-minute mark?
Yeah.
Let's see. Stop share screen. Here it is. Yeah, I wanted to share this because we've kind of talked about this a little bit. Twitter SJWs get offended by Eddie again. If they see this, they're going to get offended by Eddie. I'll tell you that much. I don't. Yeah, I just don't think they've seen this one. This is only at about. Oh shoot! It's jumped up since I've seen it. I saw
That's
this
where
one.
I
It
said
was, yeah, from Twitter.
no. I'm saying I guess it copied the link right where I'm at because that's where I had left it. But I've seen the whole thing already. I was watching.
But where I saw this, when I saw it, it was like maybe around like 10,000 views or something like that. So now it's kind of growing. So they're gonna eventually get offended by this. Can't fuck with guys willing to drop buildings on their own people. Well, and dropping buildings on your own people is how you make enemies not trust you and be willing to turn against you too. That's what I would add in there. How can you trust somebody who will sacrifice their own people?
You inspire the kids to want to do something more than what.
Oh, okay, let me back up a little. You said about 7 minutes.
Yeah,
True,
just around that
true
time
black
period.
brain don't give a fuck with fall.
Huh?
Yeah, right around that time, right around there.
We'll just play it from here. All right. Yeah, this was and I wanted to share this because this is something that we've talked about and brought up. I want to put this disclaimer out there. This isn't in no way about bashing the LGBTQ community. What this is about is there has to be some lines drawn at a certain point. I remember when we were first talking about sex ed in school. They didn't start talking about sex ed until we at least got to like 5th grade, I remember. It's like maybe 4th, 5th grade.
Yeah, 6th grade.
6th grade, around a certain time period. Now, for some reason, the sex talk and LGBTQ stuff is being talked about at like damn near kindergarten. This is I don't feel any sexual stuff needs to be talked about with kids, at least until the point they start going into puberty. And this push to sexualize the kids so early, whether it's heterosexual, homosexual, all that stuff needs to be held and let kids start let them be a fucking kid first, and then start formulating their opinions on what they want to be. I grew up with plenty of kids who, especially girls who were tomboys. Did that mean that they necessarily thought that they were actually a boy and needed to be, pushed into a lane? No, let the kids make their own decisions. And then when they get into that, then okay, this is what we're going to do at that situation. But this pushing them towards certain stuff, I feel it is a problem. Ruby says, I've been waiting on you two to touch on this subject. So yeah, this is and like the difference, like the Bank sisters, they've gotten into some heat. They've gotten into some heat about about the what is a woman thing. And here's the thing. They are strong advocates for the LGBTQ community, especially the trans community. And yet they still got dragged over this shit. So, I mean, this is something where, let's see, ask any one of those parents who take their kids to drag shows how they feel about just regular or strippers coming to class and grinding on their first grader.
Correct.
Facts. They'll have a problem then. Oh, well, wait a minute. We don't have strippers up? No. But if it's drag shows, they're perfectly fine. And that's showing the hypocrisy.
Oh my God, you have to be inclusive. We have to let this bullshit take place because, they're a marginalized group. So, let this guy, let this man come in here wearing a dress with his legs wide open, sit and talk to your kids and put your kids on your lap.
Yeah.
That's okay. No,
when Steve put that up there, that I was like, they're not really doing this, are they? They're not really letting this shit go on in the classrooms. But yeah, that was no problem. I mean, I'll let it roll.
And you know what? At the end of the day, my issue is with a lot of this trans shit. We have to be honest. It's still white men telling everybody else how to act. So instead of trying to subjugate you to make you a slave or a second-class citizen, now they're telling you, okay, I'm white man, treat me like a white woman now. And give me all the rights and be nice to me and don't make jokes to me and all that shit. No, you still a man. You still a man. You want to be a bitch, but you acting like a bitch.
Yeah,
I'm
John.
real rough. Look.
Yeah,
my patience on
we'll
this
say.
shit
I want you to save this team. I want you to give me your full. Just let it. I know you've seen it before, but let them see it. That way, they can see where you're coming from and hear what Eddie says, and then I want you to react on it. Let's see, what was that? John says, seen kids say they were a boy and later a girl and vice versa. Let them be kids. That's where I'm coming from. Let them be kids. Please. Can our kids go back to somewhat trying to be innocent and then let them change? That's the reason why we have, I feel like, the teenage and younger generation so uptight and so moody in a sense, because parents are putting their feelings and emotions into their kids. And
they're making them more sensitive. They're making them real sensitive. I mean, you can't even call it snowflake, though. It's even like worse than that, because it's like, oh my God, you're saying something about me.
It's
like,
no different. It's no different than the football dad who's trying to force football on his kid and force his kid to love football, even though his kid is like, Dad, I want to play video games. I don't care about football.
You know what? If you don't want to hear it, don't come outside. Stop putting yourself on your social media page for everybody to see. Limit it to your very small circle so you don't have to hear anything. Sign Black people.
All right, here we go.
There's no umbrella for my presence. Now, as I was saying, the LGBTQ WXYZ123 community has to understand that us of the secular community, us of the regular people's per se community, because I ain't saying y'all shit is irregular, but it is. So us in the regular community, we need our rights too. We need the rights of our children not being inundated with y'all sexcapades. See, y'all getting a little too free. I was watching on Instagram today, mother. This motherfucker Spider-Man jumped out the back of a truck. And then the Hulk came out butt asshole naked. Remember? You seen it? With his pants down. I'm like, why y'all keep doing this shit? The kids right there. Y'all knew that motherfucker pants was down. Why the fuck he gonna open this shit up with Hulk showing his non-dick? See, that's the shit I can't stand. Then you put it in cartoons every motherfucking time. You couldn't even go watch Buzz Lightyear. I took my kids to see Buzz Lightyear. I'm sure you took yours, right? I don't. I took them to see Buzz Lightyear. I'm thinking, okay, this would be a great animated film. You know what I mean? Out of space, you inspire the kids to want to do something more than what life is showing, right? No. They had this lesbian captain, and she marries this lesbian pilot, and they have a child. And why my youngest daughter look at me and say, well, how did that happen? I say, I'd like to know too. Because two pussies bumping together ain't gonna make a baby. So I'm trying to figure out that part too. So one of them was fucking somebody. And then Buzz Lightyear. Buzz. In the first 3 films, Buzz was a hero. He was a toy, but he knew he was from outer space. So this is supposed to be the prelude to Buzz's story. And he hanging out with Woody. And Woody a cowboy. Hero. Gunslinger. Bang, bang, bang. Come to find out, Buzz Lightyear gay. Which makes him and Woody hanging out gay. And I'm sure Tom Cruise is like, I didn't sign up to play the gay cowboy. So they, in retrospect, have made Woody gay. Because Woody and Buzz was tighter than frog pussy. It was a Brokeback Mountain cowboy. You know what I'm saying?
Damn.
So they done made Woody the Brokeback Mountain. He the Brokeback Mountain cowboy, goddamn. That's just fucked up. That's all it is.
All right, Marcus, pause.
All right.
Sam.
Yeah, that would smell a little.
And remind me, Denver has a comment on Rockfin. I want to go back to on WEF, but yeah, go ahead.
Okay, look, I see a comment in there that says like us in the regular community. Okay, so it seems as if someone is taking offense to the word regular. So it's not offensive to be told to call a man a woman when you know it's a man, that's not offensive. You don't see a problem there. But because he said regular, that's a problem. I mean, just think about this. Think about really. I'm looking at the comment and I'm like, is this guy against same-sex marriage too?
I mean, my thing
who
is,
cares about look. Even if he is against same-sex marriage, so fucking what? That's his fucking opinion. If he is, we don't know. Who gives two shits? You know, you understand what I'm saying? So this whole thing, like, yes, people in the U.S. are sexually repressed. Yes, they Puritan, all that other bullshit. But that community wants us to start going against regular shit. Okay? They want you to look at a singular person and call them they. They want you to call them them. You have girls who want to be boys, boys who want to be girls, and then they get together. And everything ain't about identity, but they stay leading with identity. And their whole shit surrounds about who they want to put their penis in or who they want to rub their pussy against. This shit make no fucking sense. And somebody like Eddie Griffin just really calling it out like the rest of us are. And we have allowed this shit to go on too fucking long. I'm not talking about allowing people to live their lives. I'm talking about the stupid shit that comes along with it. That's what I'm talking about. Nobody gives a fuck what you do, who you sleep with, who you lay with. Nobody cares. It's just very frustrating that they want us to turn around and come. They want us to conform to this nonsense with the language. We're not playing that shit. And you don't like it? We having our jokes. So, and he's saying, okay, boomer. I don't know what the okay boomer part is, but we're not the weirdos who are like, I'm not the black guy here saying, you know what? Call me white. I'm Caucasian now. Would you ever do that? Because I identify as Caucasian. Would you call me Caucasian? No, you wouldn't. So, you know, just relax. That shit always this shit be getting me hot, boy. Hot, boy.
Well, yeah, and well, remember that Matt Walsh thing when he was asking that one guy, he said, so what if I said that I was a black man? Were you going to start saying that I'm a black man? Well, are you a black man? He's like, not that I know of. Okay. So, I mean, why is it that there's going to be exceptions for certain communities to do different types of things? Like, if you want to transition, fine. I'm sorry, I'm not calling anybody a they. They means multiple people. I'm not calling you multiple people. That literally makes no sense.
Steve, you stupid.
Another thing is how if I've been a man my whole life, you're not going to tell me, no, you're a cis man now. No, you change your fucking titles because you're the one who's changing. I didn't change from shit. Don't try to change me because you don't like the reality and you want to create a new whole new reality. It's the same thing which pisses me off with the Latinx shit. So, because it's a gendered language and that makes me feel bad because you're gendering the language was always gendered. If we did try to switch that and make genders non-language, how would you even speak most of these languages? It would not make any sense. I get it. In your circle, do what you want to do. That's perfectly fine. My thing is, in all honesty, in kids' movies, like I saw that one movie, they got like the pig or a dog or something twerking. Why is that in? I don't care if it's a male or a female. Why is that in the fucking kids' movie? My issue, first and foremost, is the sexualization of kids. I saw, John, you said in there, well, some people at home that they see this. Okay, that's your house. You might live in a household where that's going on, but every kid is not living in that household, and what's going on in your household does not need to be forced in my household. I believe in high holy days, and I follow that. I don't celebrate birthdays or a lot of secular holidays. But I don't sit there and get. Well, hold on, Chris. I don't sit there and get mad at everybody else because they do celebrate all these secular holidays. It's a certain thing of if you have certain beliefs or views that are not in the majority, then why are you going to dictate the whole world and tell them you guys need to start believing what I believe? I don't go and tell everybody that, you know what, if you go back to Mother's Day and Father's Day and Valentine's Day, all these things go back to pagan evil worships, and it goes into to a lot of things that are wrong. So you guys need to all stop celebrating Valentine's Day. I don't go and push my views on everybody else. So I don't get why everybody feels that they, even when you're in the minority, need to push your views onto everybody else. If you're being disrespected, that's one thing. That's a whole nother matter if you're being disrespected.
Correct. Or violence is coming to you. You know what I'm saying? Shit like that. Nobody's calling for that. But I'm not gonna sit here and let white men tell me that I need to change my language. You know what I'm saying? It makes no fucking sense. Y'all already have changed enough shit and fucked shit up enough. Like we're not doing it.
I perfectly see my own bias. Everybody has their own biases. So saying you see your don't see your own. My thing is I have a lot of views that are contrary to majority of the world. I don't force my views on anybody. Period. On any level. Whether it's secular beliefs, whether it's religious beliefs, whether it's what I believe historically, I don't force my beliefs on anyone. The fact of the matter is, hold on, one more thing. I recognize myself as a Hebrew Israelite, as my nationality, but people still call me a black man. I also have multiple. Hold on. I also have multiple. I also come from multiple different heritages of mixture, but people label me what the hell they want to by what they see. I have no control over that. But do I go around complaining because you do not call me a Hebrew Israelite?
Okay, look,
because
I have
you call
to
me a
highlight.
black man.
Correct. I have to highlight the ignorance here. Did the black man choose to be black? Did the white woman choose to be white? I mean, what is the point in bringing that part up? I don't understand the relevance.
Another thing, that's making a law. That is way different than somebody having personal beliefs. Nobody is going out and legislating this shit. That's a way different topic. That's not even close to the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
That's a way different topic. When you say, well, they used to not be able to marry a black person, that was a law, and they used to go around and beat and hang people who did that. That is saying that you disagree with something is not the equivalency of beating and hanging and torturing and throwing people in jail. Because
you notice though we get worked up off of saying like, yo, you're not gonna change my language and how I talk, right? And you're not gonna force and you're not gonna force your sexuality onto my children in school, right? Then they reply with, oh, you're biased, or they get triggered very easily when you say that.
Where in here did anybody say that we need to outlaw same-sex marriages? That was never even said. That was never even said. So you're taking leaps. You're taking leaps that nobody is saying. Nobody is saying this. You're conflating policy with personal opinion. It's at what point can other people have an opinion that's contrary? Are we at the point now that we're not allowed to believe something different?
According to them, no. You must, you know, if it's a man and he says, call me she, and you don't, then you're just insensitive. Like, yo, straight up, it ain't happening, bro. And the pushback that's coming against this from all the circles, I don't even think they're so aware of it because their heads are so far up their asses trying to figure out what their fucking identity is and what pronoun they want to use today or tomorrow, that they don't even realize that regular people who are like in favor of them, like the bank sisters that you mentioned, they said something about, oh, when they're talking about these issues, they tend to leave out women. Oh my God, what are you saying? Are we not women? You have men saying we're not women. You're not being fair. I mean, just think about the logic behind this.
Mm-hmm. Like their Camp Dada thing almost got taken down, basically over people feeling that because you didn't use or say this one word that makes me feel comfortable, you hate me. Like what? Mm-hmm. How do you jump to those extreme levels of because you don't say this, now I feel threatened and attacked? And this goes back to what I said before. I said, as far as the left believes that a lot of them believe in some kind of revolutionary, we can fight back against the system. If y'all are so hung up and pissed off on all of these different things, and this is where your focus is. I don't see y'all honestly as tough enough to be able to fight back against this system. The system ain't worried about trying to worry about this and that and all. Y'all got so much stuff that y'all are hung up on that I don't see how in the hell y'all can fight back against this system.
Correct.
I really
and you
don't
notice
see
they
it.
only, and you know, they always want allies, but when I look around, I don't never see them around when we need, when, you know, we could use it.
Well, this is one of the issues which, if we're going back into my issues, back to when we had the civil rights era, I've watched Black issues continuously. Two old Black guys. I bet you're probably our age, if not older. What are you talking about? What do you think? I'm 60 or something? Jeez. And also, yeah. Oh yeah, I'm not surprised. But remember, we're not
Two
a
old Black guys. I'm not surprised. You see what I'm saying? Look, no, that's what I say. You poke them a little bit, they mask come off.
But remember what the Bank sisters, all they were talking, like they brought up something about women having periods and some of the issues that they have to deal with, and somebody in the trans community got offended by women, by them talking about that they have periods and stuff like that. I'm like, geez, that's an issue that these women have to deal with. And like here's one thing which I don't understand also. This is one thing I've always wondered. If trans women don't want to be called women, how are you an example and to lead to possible other women who want to transition? How are you able to lead if now you're no longer even a trans woman? How do you lead people or make them feel more encouraged to, if they feel the same way you do? How do they follow that lead if there are no trans women? We got the right to cry about CRT, secularism, and abortions, and we got the left crying about people not respecting their pronouns and identity. Their identity, bro. Welcome to American politics. Exactly. We got so much stuff that go on in the Black and brown communities, and when I say brown, I'm talking about natives and Hispanics. We got so much going on, and we have so much oppression.
Gene,
and then
you ain't 30, Gene. Gene, you ain't 30. Stop it. Stop.
My thing is, I don't care if I seem old to anybody. I really don't. I honestly feel like this younger generation, if you are 30, is so concerned with redefining and changing everything that came before them. And it makes me wonder, where does this mentality come from? How about let's focus on things that are bigger issues instead of micromanaging and worrying about people's thoughts. Nobody is sitting up there forcing you to believe anything that I believe. None of it. But yet, just the fact that I believe something different is offensive to a lot of these people. That's my issue.
Steve tried to help him. This reminds me of the other.
And I don't agree with MAGA either. I'm not a MAGA person. And here's the thing. There's a lot of issues that you probably wouldn't like me on.
Marcus, but he's not having any kind of honest debate or trying to.
I believe John is
educate.
I think is I don't know. Let us know if you are male or female or pronoun or bi in there, whatever you acknowledge yourself as.
Steve took the words out of my mouth. They're not trying to have a debate. They're just throwing bumper stickers. Look, Eddie Griffin in the video said regular people. Triggered already. What do you mean regular?
Well, here's the thing.
Already.
What percentage of people worldwide actually would fall into the LGBT community? Actually, America's pretty high at around 15%. If you actually do the worldwide population, it's around what was it, 7% to 10%. So 10% of people have something that's different than the rest of people. That's
Motherfucker,
not.
none of us would be none of us would be here if we was all adopting that kind of ideology and lifestyle. So you know what? Be thankful that your pops bust a nut inside your mother and be fucking.
Oh,
happy.
if you'd like to debate, I can put a link in there and then you can debate, Chris. I have no problem with that. Would you like to have a debate, Chris?
Hell no, I'm not wasting my time.
I would say I have no problem with putting it, like I do it on my other show. If I have somebody who really wants to go at it with me, you want to debate me, then I will put a link in the chat and you can hop right on and join the show. I have no problem. I stand 10 toes down on all my beliefs. So
Steve,
I
you
don't
win
run
already.
from nothing.
Steve won. Steve won. Look, I was watching kung fu. I was watching kung fu movies earlier, so you know, I feel like I feel like
my whole thing with this is I don't like how they're like literally it's to the point where we have roughly about 10 to 15% of the population literally making in almost every show that the LGBTQ representation is at like 30-40% of the damn shows. That doesn't make any sense to me. So what that comes across, just like Eddie Griffin is saying, that an agenda comes across as looks like it's being forced. I know that there are definitely. I put it this way,
and this is a woman saying this. This is a woman saying this.
I mean, I look at it like this. In reality, in most people's reality, everybody doesn't know at least 4 or 5 people within their close circle that are all LGBTQ or fall into that line. Some people do, but not everybody does. So when I see shows where every single show, that's what's going on, or it's at a 50-50 kind of thing, that's showing an outsized that's really showing an outsized point of view of a group of people that's a smaller group of people. No, and nobody's attacking your nephew. Nobody's attacking your nephew at all. I thought you were a woman. When I have a nephew who is transgender, but nobody wants to attack your nephew. But my thing is, if your nephew happened to your nephew. Well, my thing is, if your family, if your nephew feels a certain way and their parents, do all the things to assist it or whatever, that's honestly how I feel. That's their personal business in their home. I don't feel if I have a kid, my kid needs to go to school and like, yeah, no, you need to sit there and like I heard one where they were making all the kids wear dresses. I don't feel that's appropriate. I don't feel that's necessary at all. You can come to school and be and represent whoever you want to be. It's the same thing with when we were in school. We had Jehovah's Witnesses and they couldn't observe any of the holidays and stuff like that. I didn't sit there and run up to my kid, to a friend who was a Jehovah's Witness, and be like, "Yo, you need to celebrate Christmas."
Correct.
That's all we're saying is everybody's agenda or point of view doesn't need to be forced down their throat. Because if that's the case, then I need to start forcing my agenda down your throat. And here's the thing. If our agendas clash, then what do? It's not about, and I won't rethink my position. I'm pretty strong and standard on my position. Everybody has the right to believe. In fact, if you are a skinhead out there listening to me, you have a right to hate Black people. It's your right to think whatever you want to think. And that's what I stand on. Everybody has the right to their own beliefs. And
they said
at a certain point, when you start infringing on others' beliefs, that's where we have an issue.
They said, I'm too young and free thinking for this channel. You're young and free thinking, but you're offended by our opinion.
How is that free thinking if you're attacking other people's views?
Which didn't call for violence or discrimination or to cast anybody out of the community or anything like that. We just said we ain't doing the weird shit. And when we turn on the fucking TV, we don't always want to watch men on men. Okay? It's that fucking simple.
Yes, our job as parents is to teach our children. If we tell a young child it's okay to pretend opposite sex, we should be institutionalized. Wow, I didn't go that far. I just said that it's everybody's choice how they want to raise their kid, how they want to believe.
Yeah,
It's
you know what?
everybody's
I don't even believe that I'm a Latina indigenous woman with a male French name. Yo, name a Spanish person who uses a French pronunciation of their name. Don't worry, I'll wait. All right. Okay. This person's lying and making shit up.
I mean, I'm not going to go that far to say that they're lying. I don't know.
I'm calling bullshit.
I mean, outside of a handful of the people in this chat, I know for a fact who they are.
Marcus, they checked every box. I'm a Latina indigenous woman. Be nice to me because I'm a minority woman here. And, you know, you shouldn't be jumping on me. And I have a transgender nephew. I mean, come on.
Well, here's the funny thing, which I've noticed also. We're literally the only so-called independent / even associated with the
Mm.
left who is not sitting up there and touting the,
Y tú también.
we're the only ones who have a different point of view. And so what it is, hey, you black boys better get in line and start believing with everybody else. That's what I hear. Y'all need to get in line and start believing with everybody else.
Right.
I'm a Nigerian prince. I have 26 million. I need to transfer, but require some assistance.
So I'm saying it's just
wild. This I have a problem with. They're giving sexual surgical procedures to children.
Hey, Deborah Brown, I thought you were a black woman.
And then here's another one. If
you're a black woman, Jared Brown or Wiccan or whatever your name is with your 90s.
I think you're getting the people mixed up now. You were talking to John.
No, I'm not. No, I'm talking to one in particular. Because you know, Jared Brown emailed me one day and said that I wasn't taking her side because I should have been on her side because she's a black woman. So I'm just trying to figure out like what they are. Because she's speaking pure Spanish here. Lo siento, you know, la próxima vez.
Fluent Spanish and French. Apparently, and
okay.
I mean, I was like, for a Texan, you're pretty diverse. Most Texans I grew up with.
Thank you, Baba. That's all I'm saying, Baba.
Yes, and we'll close it on this right here. People's sexuality needs to not be pushed into everyone else's business. I don't need to know you lick pussies or stick your rod in the assholes. We're human beings, sexual beings. It's life. I don't brag. Yeah, my whole point is I don't need to know your shit. It doesn't have to always be in my face. I'm the type where I don't really. You can minimize all the sex in all these TV shows. We don't need all that in anything. Period. And the fact of leading with this is where we have the issue.
Correct, Steve. Just like in every situation, like, you know, he says he has frequent conversation with his 16-year-old about waiting until his brain is fully developed. You know, like, you know, it's just wild, man. It's just wild that they want you to change your thinking and your speech, your diction, the things you say. It's wild. You know what I'm saying? Like,
well, you say it's wild in the secular world. What about somebody who believes with every fiber in their being in a creator and that the Bible is conveying that message and being told, no, you need to stop your beliefs in the Bible and change that. No, the Bible's not actually saying this. It's saying that. You need to change. The Bible needs to be updated. I mean, that's my issue. That I mean, I have some of these same people who are saying, no, your Bible beliefs needs to change.
Yeah.
Even though it says what it says in there, that's not. You need to just ignore that part because it doesn't fit with society.
It's like D Wade and Gabrielle Union. Did they officially did they officially turn his son like the surgery?
I don't know. I don't know.
You know, it's funny when you and I were kids. You know, obviously there were reasons why people who like people of the same sex really kept it to themselves, right? Because there was really a chance that the ignorant among us would be violent towards them as a result of who they like. That is never to be co-signed. That's not something to laugh at. That's not something to promote. And that's not something to be proud of. These kids now, all of the data and information and the constant attacking of them. I have friends who have children. I don't know, like, first of all, how many of y'all have children out there? That's what I want to know, right? To those of us who do have children out there, if you can hear some of the shit that we're hearing as it relates to this topic, you would not understand it. That you don't let me say this. You don't understand how much the propaganda and the media is really having an effect on kids. I have friends I work with who say their children have been gay, bi, non-binary, and want to be trans. All within the course of like 14, 15 months. Okay, so you gotta, think about what's going on. That's what we're trying to say. Da Vinci scriptures.
Yeah, I was reading through some of Rock because I'm gonna go back to it. They got a lot of good points, but here's one which fits with this right now. Denver said, if I reacted like these people, real or bots, hung up on BS pronouns and overreacting to regular behavior, I'm a type 1 diabetic. Seeing people eat without taking insulin triggers me and should not be allowed into public. Sarcasm. Exactly. All of us have to deal with things which we see that it doesn't necessarily make us feel comfortable or happy about or whatever. When I see, here, I'll give you one that triggers me. When I see carbon copy assholes like Robbie Soab that's on the Hill constantly get these jobs and get into these points, that kind of shit annoys me because I know these guys are fucking idiots. But yet, because of this society and this system, they get promoted. That triggers me. Yeah. Well, but here's the thing, John. I already knew that Joan we lose because I've seen her in Sabby's chat and other people's chat, and that's more into, let's just say that they're in that different lane where they still believe in this. We can raise up some kind of communist faction and fight back against and take over the government. I don't know really exactly to the
Does anybody think like a revolution is possible in this country? Like an actual real revolution? Does anybody in the chat?
I wanted to be a Terminator for about 6 weeks in the mid-80s. Very opposed to AI mashups. I am too. I'm completely against them.
Steve, I wanted to be a Thundercat. I wanted to be a GoBot. I wanted to be a Transformer. Like, I wanted to be all those things when I was a kid. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, I'm trying to think. What's the only thing? I wanted to be different animals. I mean, like that's the reason why I brought up. If I get pulled over by a cop, I'm telling him I'm a giraffe, and so that way, a giraffe. It's your fault for letting me drive the car. Yeah, how are you gonna take a giraffe to jail? You can't. You just got to kind of let me go. That's your fault.
I never heard that shit.
Giraffe lives matter, man. You can't mess with a giraffe.
Yeah, there would never be a revolution in this country ever. Like, can you imagine them? Look, they would be like, "Oh my God, this outfit is not right." It's like
that's what I'm saying. Either you have one side, which in my opinion, I'll just call it, they're too fucking weak for it. And then you have the other side, which at this point now, the people who I think could even mount some kind of attack, if there was some kind of attack to be had, the communications, they're so in-depth in everybody's communications. how would you even organize it before they even knew what you get to your meeting, you guys are passing out the guns, and they send a drone to just take you out before you guys could even get going. That's my viewpoint on it. The only reason why they allow for us to have the banter and talk about this stuff, because they already see it as, man, we got these motherfuckers. There ain't shit they can do. I mean, the robot dogs, all that stuff, they're not worried about us. And the fact that they know it's only a matter of time before they start taking our jobs with the machines, they don't give a shit about your protest either.
Look, Steve and Pasta are gonna find ways to fight the robot dogs for us.
Hey, I mean, hopefully we don't mess it up and we can still get into the bunker when shit gets too crazy. Me and Chris are the kids who go around pissing in everybody's cereal. So, I mean, hopefully they'll still like us in the end.
And if they don't, it don't matter. We'll see you on the other side.
I mean, at least they'll be like, you know what? They was always real. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I vote for. EMPs for everyone.
There we go.
That's what I vote for. I mean, me and Steve, we both have a very healthy fear of the robots. The best revolution.
Look, Bobby got it right here.
Exactly. Somebody else said that too
go.
up there. I think Mr. Street said it also. That, hey, gotta take your kids out of these schools.
Yeah, Street said it too earlier.
And even if it's not because of these different agendas, another thing is the education system is full of shit and it lies to you. I mean, we're sitting here dealing with Rockefeller inspired education systems which completely manipulate and lie to us and only train you up to just be a worker bot. That's part of the fucking problem there. And then all of a sudden they start training like they're doing now. Put in the schools that you need to do this, you need to do X, you need to do Y. Like I heard, like in the What's a Man thing, I heard a dude say that he feels uncomfortable with talking about what truth is. So now I can't remember, somebody famous said, you know, one of the first casualties of war is the truth. This is the reality we're dealing with. Start stripping away the truth. What is truth? What is fact? If we have no measuring stick of what anything is, I mean, yeah, I mean, how? Never mind. I don't know. Steve could make that argument better than I can. But when you start stripping away the truth and you start having a hard time trying to define anything, I mean, here's the thing: if you look like a man and you commit a crime, the cop is not going to call you by your pronouns or whatever. They're going to call you by what you look like. It's the same thing as if somebody randomly sees me pull up, they see a black man. That's what I am to them. Same thing. They see white. They see Steve. Sorry, I was getting John Steve twisted up. They're not going to say Steve is actually, they're probably going to say that he's a caveman. He's a Bigfoot. He's an undersized Bigfoot. That's what Steve is.
All right. Well, we could end it on a lighter note. We got a little crazy. Streets, thank you for helping to.
Yeah.
You know,
I wanted to hop back over on the rock thing. You know, jump off that subject because there was some stuff that was where'd it go?
What's the imperfect?
They got a good conversation going over here.
But what is the imperfects?
The imperfects? What are you talking about?
The imperfect. It says watch Imperfects on Netflix. Atrez said that, and then Baba just mentioned it.
Yeah, I don't even know.
It's a show. I haven't even heard of it.
You have to send it to me. Denver. Somebody said something in there. Where is it at? The largest economy in the world, and oh shoot! Thank you for. Let me see. Scroll down to the bottom. Somebody just gave us a donation. John Meyer. The CIA relationship with academic communities are extensive and serve many purposes, collaborations and research and analysis, intelligence collections abroad, and preparations of books and other propaganda material. Exactly.
Hey, Marcus, I have a question for all the chats, right? You know, it's
Yes.
an important question. I just want to see how many people will actually admit to it. How many of you guys are watching Cobra Kai on Netflix.
Not me.
You know Daniel Son and them from Karate Kid? Yeah.
This is
Damn,
good. This
you're
is
Bert
good.
Bang.
Jacob just sent me something good. Jacob Grishmer.
Griezmann, yeah.
Griezmer. I apologize if I'm pronouncing your name
Okay.
wrong. But
You want me to read it?
this is a really good source that was sent over about the CIA and their controlling. Says hand out these on campus. Let me grab this and put this link in the chat. That way everybody over there can have it.
Can you copy that link?
Yes. I'm about to do that now because Jacob says, dang it, why did I do that? Jacob
Streets,
says he hands that out. And let's get that so we can put it out there. Everybody needs to check this out.
Ruby, the show is corny as hell, but it kind of gets you. I ain't even gonna lie. I've watched it. It's corny. It's cheesy, but I've been watching it.
Well, Cobra Kai, it looks cheesy. That's why I can't watch it.
Cobra Kai Streets.
I can't watch it. It looks too cheesy for me.
Yo, everything is like, this dude literally says every single time, "Oh, what would Mr. Miyagi do?" They really should call the show "What Would Mr. Miyagi Do?"
Wow. Like Mr. Miyagi is the guy. If Mr. Miyagi was still alive, they would try to put him on there too. I swear they're going for everybody. Did they bring the bad boy of karate in there yet? Because I imagine they're gonna bring him in next. I see they brought back Terry Silver. I'm like, come on, this dude is like 85 years old. What are y'all doing?
Yes, they brought.
I'm gonna tell Brett Favre that next week. Yeah, make sure. Hey, everybody, get that link. Oh wait a minute, I didn't want to take it off the screen. But
Yo, you see what happened in? You see what happened in Boston?
No, yeah, Westworld is depressing. I can't do it with Westworld. Westworld I was like, first season was good, and y'all start losing me. It's just starts getting confusing after a while. Yeah. And then I don't know if that was the last season, which I just watched, but it ended kind of pretty terrible. Yeah, this goes in that PDF that we put up there. It goes into Foreign and Military Intelligence Book 1, final report of the Select Committee to study governmental operations with respect to intelligence activities, United States Senate, together with additional supplemental and separate views. This is from 1976. And Senate Select Committee would study governmental operations with respect to intelligence activities. Frank Church. Oh, when is this part of the Church Committee? Oh, I see a couple of names in there. Philip Hart, Walter Mondale, Walter Huddleston. Oh, there's some heavy hitters in here. Gary Hart, Howard. Oh, wow. Baker was involved in this. Barry Goldwater. I think I might have heard of this. But yeah, you definitely need to check that out. But yeah, sorry, Chris, go ahead.
No, I was just I was asking, did you see what happened in Boston this week or yesterday, a couple days ago?
No, I'm not. Oh, about their coach and all that shit. Yeah, I've heard stuff.
Yeah, that was pretty bad. Yeah. I don't know what exactly happened, but that shit was bad. And to Denver, real quick, I want to say Denver said he's more about the old school Shaolin versus Wu-Tang.
There we
Master
go.
Killer, Tai Chi Master.
There we go.
Denver.
So you got another one here.
Denver, those are all my joints. I've watched every single one of those a bunch of times. Matter of fact, today on Netflix, what I watched, the birth of the dragon. I watched on
Birth of the Dragon.
Netflix. It's about
what is the Birth of the Dragon?
Bruce Lee versus the Shaolin monk. The fight.
Oh yeah. I seen that one.
Mm-hmm. It came out in 2017, but I just saw it today.
Yeah. I thought it was pretty good. Hey, Jacob,
it was good.
I tried to open this other one. It says stop the WEF at WordPress. I'm trying to open it, and it's not opening. And thank you again for the generous donation. Jacob knows more names than I do. Yeah, I mean, Jacob, if you're on Twitter or Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, any of these social media platforms, just definitely drop me all this information that you have in here, and I'll happily bring it up on the shows. Because this is stuff that needs to. It deserves its own time to actually thoroughly be gone through and vetted, and the whole show to actually talk about it. So I appreciate you, Jacob, for sending this information over. It's very valuable. And if you got, and again, if you're not on Rockfin, please go over to Rockfin and check out what we have going on here. There's a great conversation that goes on over here. I feel I'm kind of lucky to be able to bounce back and forth. It is a little tough sometimes to keep up with both chats and get everybody's and try to keep everybody in discussion, getting all the different conversations. That's one thing we pride ourselves on if you're new to this channel, of getting everybody in discussion and having an open dialogue back and forth with the chat and with our guests when we have guests on. I see Denver sent the tip also. Thank you. You guys are all very, very kind and generous tonight. Much love and appreciation to you. Let's see. We have one more story I want to get into. Well, John, not only is Westworld political, but a lot of people need to. I don't think they know some of the religious connotations which are being thrown in there. There's a lot going on with that show that I feel like
Marcus,
I can break down. Yes.
Marcus, my mother just texted me like, we're watching it. Chris, take it easy on him. They must be behind. So.
Yeah, I mean, people don't realize, like, a lot of people like come at me online, and I'm like, y'all do realize, like, I'm the one who is trying to, be a little softer. Chris will come for your head. I mean, straight off, he's chopping heads off. So
I'm just saying, like, there's only so much shit you can accept. You know what I'm saying? It's difficult. So, but yeah, my mother been texting me. That shit is funny.
Well, much love out there to mom. Hopefully she's well. Hopefully everything is going nice. You say your mom in NY?
Yeah. They're in New York. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Much love to the family up there.
Of course.
You got a good one here. I can tell all those lessons that she embedded on you when you were younger. And knowledge. It's definitely translated. That's why me and him even hooked up in the first place, because we saw a lot of commonality.
My father's like, yo, B, that Marcus guy, man, he know his shit, kid. My father.
Well, I consider that a high compliment that your father said that. Much appreciated and very humbled hearing that.
Yeah.
I'm always one of those that I was always raised to have a lot of respect for my elders. And, I noticed a lot that Chris goes into was stuff that I was digging for and searching through, and maybe if I didn't get it from my mom, I got it from my uncle, or I got it from somebody else. So I was lucky to have a good support system around me to help groom me up and teach me a lot of different things. I don't know if y'all saw this, but this is real. I figure out, crap, this is pretty quick. I don't know, is it shared on the screen? Yeah, okay. I'll show you guys this because I was telling somebody this and they did not believe me. I was like, no, this is a real thing. Marvel is actually doing this, and they got a ton of backlash about this. So, yeah, I'm sure a lot of us got a lot of beatings growing up, and we probably deserved a lot of those beatings too.
What can I say? I got a face only a mother.
That's brutal. Did you read that comment, that Twitter comment? That's brutal. And it's kind of ironic. Sarah Abdullah, he said, I wonder what might be the superpowers of Sabra. Would it be killing innocent civilians, looting them, or stealing their land? Hashtag Marvel, hashtag Marvel Studios, given a glamorous touch to an Israeli occupation. Ooh. Oh, sorry, you were saying something, Chris?
No, I'm just saying.
Damn, yeah.
That was like,
Sayer
that,
went in.
that's sharp.
Yeah. Let's see what else is here. Shira Haas has been cast as an Israeli superheroine, Sabra, in Captain America: New World Order. I'm definitely watching this movie and got to go through it because I don't know if you all remember. If you look at the which was it? Was it Captain America: Civil War? In Captain America: Civil War, they go into a part talking about Hydra and basically Hydra is the New World Order in that movie. Which I look at when they're saying Hydra, just supplement all that out with Illuminati. It's the same thing. And start talking about how they were infiltrated into the Nazis and how they were actually controlling a lot of different stuff, and how Operation Paperclip led to a lot of those German, which is an actual real thing, which we all know about, many of us, that they took those scientists and a lot of government people and they transferred a lot of them into our American program of NASA, which NASA, the spelling is different in Hebrew, but it's like Nasha, Nasha. That is Hebrew for lies or deceiver. So it's kind of interesting that NASA got that name, which is similar to the word for lies or deceptions in Hebrew. But yeah, sorry.
I was gonna say if there ever was an Israeli superhero, they would be kind of like Kal-El, aka Superman, aka Clark Kent. They would be the last of their kind because they would have to destroy their own people in order to be a hero. Because if we're being honest, there's nothing heroic about any any of those Israeli people. Actually, some of them people are from Brooklyn. Some of the people are from fucking England. Some of them are from Germany.
A lot of those people, a good chunk of them come out of New York, Philly, England, and then you have a good chunk who come out of Poland, Ukraine, and Russia. That's where like majority of the people in Israel come from.
Yes, Ruby. Mm-hmm.
Yes, that is actually the real title. Yipper says, Marcus, if you're going to the movies to see it, don't leave your seat. I may get taken. Oh, don't worry. When I go to the movies, I make sure I've already went to the restroom, done everything. I do not leave during movies.
Yo, the chat is fire.
Never a straight answer. Ooh,
look,
good one.
Hold on. Dingo said, "Is her superpower getting good deals?" Wow.
No. Dingo,
and then Steve came with the never a straight answer. Like,
wow. Jeez, you guys are vicious. I'm scared to see what else is said. I mean, yeah, everybody put in, what do you think? No, I'm gonna get y'all. I'm getting everybody canceled if I start asking that question. Only those who feel confident in your answers. Say what you think this superpower, what their superpowers are going to be. I mean, I've already looked it up, so I know what the superpowers are.
Stealing, lying, cheating.
Damn. Let's let this play because they're gonna drop some more info for you all, and it's almost like I can't even believe somebody actually came up with this. Saber gets pissed when you throw rocks and sandals at her, though. Wow. The Palestinian situation is big for me. If Marvel does that, I won't ever watch the Marvel movie. I guarantee you it's gonna come up because and I'm not sure if they say that in here, but I will go into the original Sabra when she was first introduced into the MCU. It was like 1982, I believe, and came in with the Hulk. And so I don't want to bury the lead in case they say it in here, but we'll go into it if they don't. But yeah, I was like, really, this is what they're really doing. This is how I know that they don't give a damn anymore. They're like, whatever. We can say or do anything we want to. Let's start the, no more hiding the ball anymore. There it is.
You sound correct.
Yes, I wanted to stop it there. The very name is a reminder of the brutal Sabra and Shatila massacre of 1982. This is actually when the character actually was first introduced also. And I believe it was like September of 82. And they literally named the character after the massacre, which Sabra actually means like native person, something like that. This massacre that happened, the numbers range from at a minimum over 500 murdered to as high as about 3,500 who were massacred in this by IDF, Mossad, and the Israeli government. And so they decided, yeah, that's a good name. After a massacre, let's just name our new superhero after the massacre. That's cold.
That's cold on a whole other level.
Yeah, I mean, that shows a certain level of heartlessness, but yeah. Israeli blocked exit as Lebanese Christian military men entered Beirut Sabra. And embarked a 36-hour massacre, killing hundreds of Muslim men, women, and children. This sounds very similar.
This is
sounds
when
very
you
similar
would
to
need
what happens today.
But you did need a superhero here. You know what I'm saying? But the superhero, you know what? He runs around with a picture of Superman on his face, but he's really Homelander. To the people who watch The Boys, they'll get that reference.
Wow, Yipper. Wow, Archers, y'all are brutal. Y'all are brutal. Sabra is a Sabra hummus Israeli brand. Oh, Yipper. Wow, did you really say that? If you take Sabra's sunscreen away, she loses her ability to stay in the sun. But and that goes back to Israel. That goes back to Israel having what is it? At one point, they had the second highest skin cancer rate in the world.
And Marcus, let it be clear, right? We're making fun of people from New York, people from Europe, and people from around the world. Do not try to make this seem as if we're going at anybody's religion, because quite honestly, some of those people don't have religion. All right.
Ooh.
So let's keep it real. We're not talking about the faith. We're not talking about faith. We're talking about
high percentage of
New
them
Yorkers. We talking about dickhead New Yorkers from Brooklyn who had decided to move to the Middle East and kick people out of their homes and like to brag and boast about having the government help you. So that's what we're talking about. Those cowards.
In fact, isn't trying to think of his name right now, Naftali Bennett? Isn't he from Philly?
I think yes.
Yeah, I'll say in the chat, double check me, but I believe he's from Philly. See, oh wow, her superpower is selling drone tech to China without any consequences. Wow. Eating Palestinians, assassinating scientists, counting calories. Wow. Sabra farts democracy. Does a bad guy get away by dropping a jar of pennies? Wow. Her superpower is cheating at canasta. Wow. She can invade your electronics and spy on you. Believe it or not, Sabra is actually IDF and Mossad. That's part of the character, for real. That's not hyperbolic or made up. Movie Salt is a Marvel twist. She has matzo ball grenades. Her star of David are throwing stars. Her powers include blending into white crowds. Wow. Sovereign superpower is sucking up your tax dollars. Wow.
Yo.
Y'all are brutal. Jeez, y'all are brutal. Man. Let's see. Let's just hop over to Rockfin real quick. Oh wow. Denver says Netanyahu, I think, is from Jersey, which I would not be surprised. Winter Soldier was the last Marvel movie. I'm telling you, not Civil War. It was Winter Soldier. Thank you, Denver. Yes. So Denver knows what scene I'm talking about, where they go into the so-called World War II bunker, and the video clicks on. Anybody who hasn't seen that, I would show it on here, but I'm worried about them, dropping the stream or doing any of that crazy shit they normally like to do, so I won't do it. Let's see, what did Jacob say that you're responding to? I have 2 moons for the Twin Strikes. Winter Soldier was about space weapons control in Congress, wasn't it? Well, it was about Congress trying to control the superheroes, the Avengers, because they look at them as weapons. Oh, what was that?
No.
Hydra controlling.
No, read the comment. Read the comment on the screen.
Oh, hold on. Let me switch back over. Political matrix has been axed.
We're going the way of the queen right now. We'll tell y'all how she is.
let me see. Yeah, I never know. They wouldn't be the first time they've dropped one of our streams.
Oh, Marcus, look.
Maybe that's what it is. We all got to take a bunch of boosters and then that's how we'll get our superpowers. No, that can't. I heard Jacob Fauci steals another old Palestinian lady's house in the movie. That's messed up. Y'all are brutal. Damn, y'all are brutal. They say the chat is normally a reflection of the host, and I don't know what y'all saying about us right now. Hydra controlling whatever the super org and Congress and many governments by extension. It also goes in the paperclip. Yeah, that's the scene which everybody needs to look into, because I think that's a perfect example of when the elites are telling you what they're doing. It's kind of like Jordan saying, "Yo, I'm about to cross you to the left. I'm gonna hit a spin, and then I'm gonna hit that fadeaway on you, and there's nothing you can do about it." And this is what the elites have gotten into the habit of doing. Let's tell you what we're gonna do, and then we're still gonna do the shit, and you cannot stop it. And so that's why I tell people, they're like, "Well, why would the elites put this and that?" And they do it because they know you can't stop it. Ooh, got some Jet Li up in the butt. Tai Chi Master, that's a good one. That's a good one. I put it on my screen to go check back and watch this clip later. What else? Called a bunch. Kalinsky, Kucinich had. Yeah. Man, yeah. Jacob knows what's going on. Jacob definitely knows what's going on. Thank you again. I see another tip in the good, man. Y'all. Much love to y'all. Y'all don't know how much y'all help out a poor man. Y'all have no clue. 2 black guys, what you expect. Of course, that's the reason why literally, like, now the only people who would even like touch us, like we're so radioactive, is like Slow News Day, Steve Imposter, they like us. I don't know why, but everybody else is like, yeah, fuck them too. They do not like us, but hey, that's not going to stop us from doing our thing.
Correct. Everybody else can focus on the same old shit that they've been talking about for decades. The Democrat versus Republican, and we just need to electoral this, electoral that, blah blah blah. It's the same shit. That's the real grift. Is talking about that shit still. That's the real grift and the real nonsense. You know what I'm saying? And anybody telling you to vote for Stacey Abrams, she getting her ass beat.
Yeah, we're not entertaining that. We're not entertaining that.
Yo, did you see the dumb shit she said?
I don't listen to Stacey Abrams at all.
Me neither. I just happened to see it early. She's like, at 6 weeks, like the heartbeat that you hear from the sonogram was something created by men.
Oh, that she said that's fake. Yeah. Whatever.
I'm like, yo, rents are up, property values up, purchase prices up, wages not keeping up, a whole bunch of shit. And you're talking about that. What you hear when you go, what a woman hears when she goes get her sonogram at 6 weeks is not a heartbeat, that it's an artificial sound made by a man to control a woman. And this is, and you know what? The only reason why I bring this up too, because again, the Democratic Party is disingenuous as fuck, and all those elitist black women that they have like carrying their water for that party, fuck y'all too, because at the same time, everything is about, black men are not getting in line. Black men need to get behind other black women and then support the Democratic Party. No.
I know what you're talking about. I can't remember her name, but that goofball. I'm not fucking with none of these people. Like, I look at it like this: what have we gotten from the political system?
Thank you, Steve. Thank you, Steve.
Oma says, I didn't even go to get vaccinations or boosters. Relies mainly on self-immunity, but playing big to get people vaccinated with superheroes like this, it's very scary. Yeah, I mean, we say this all the time. There's only handfuls of us that I hear out there. I know AM Wake Up is doing this on Newsday. I'm pretty sure there's a bunch of other people out there doing it too, but we focus on the propaganda and what's going on the larger stage. We might not even agree 100% on everything that's going on, but our focus is there because we know that's the real fucking problem over there. You guys are worrying about all this other. I'm not saying you guys, not the chat. I'm saying a lot of them are worried about, well, this politician said that, and maybe we can try to get the third party this. And I'm sorry, I'm over that shit. So over that. It says in the final fight scene, Sauber gets into a jam and Zelensky comes through to save the day.
Yo, they really liked that one. They really liked,
wow,
created the shit about that one.
Here, let's see what else we got left in here. See that? The character is not only part of the Israeli police force. I told you I didn't make this shit up. She also works for security agency Mossad. Yes, maybe she's the one who took out Jeffrey Epstein. So actually, what it is, it's not that secret project. I can't remember what it's called right now, but the computer system that hacks into everybody's shit. Maybe it's not that. This is just this Israeli superhero who's the one really flying around gathering all this information. What? That can't be true.
They really said that?
Are portrayed as a device to hurt the Palestinians. Jeez. I mean, well, maybe in the 80s version of it.
You know what, Marcus? What? I like when Steve has time. Steve had time today. Because when he does, that motherfucker's funny. So is everybody in the chat. Dingo, you good too.
Why do you think I fuck with Steve? Steve is a wild boy. Steve is wild.
No. They did not know.
Fucking hilarious. Fucking hilarious. And especially if he's burning. Zelensky by day, Sauber by night. Wow. Yes, ACAP. And it gets even deeper than this. I don't know if they say it in this clip. I think they do, but if they don't, I'll give you the last part. Think about it. How much stuff got in 1 minute of just atrociousness that I mean, if you really went into Sabra, like really deep, it gets even worse. Marvel really took 10 steps forward with the Muslim rep and then proceeded to take 90 steps back with announcing an Israeli superhero based on an Islamophobic comic book. What's worse is they named her Sabra, obviously referring to the Sabra Shatila massacre. Wow, look at her. Oh no. They got her literally flying towards a woman and kids about to punch them. I don't know if somebody made a parody that this is a parody. This can't be a real one. Jeez.
Probably not. But hold on, my
This
thing is, why
can't
she
be
look
real.
like a black girl in the second pick though? She looked like she got a fro and some thick
That's the
lips.
older
Like,
one. That's the old
yeah,
one.
I know.
And then the
I
newer
know.
versions, it starts changing and it starts getting. It's kind of weird. It's kind of like how, you know, from the Bible it seemed a little blacker, and then like out of modern day it starts getting whiter and whiter somehow.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, how are you gonna have like Songs of Solomon and he's up there talking about my skin on me is black, but no, the Jews ain't black. What you talking about?
No, she looked black in the one on the right.
Or at least mixed.
Yeah, but the lips like say it's more.
Yeah,
know.
but look at the skin tone. That's what I'm saying. I don't know, man. Well, probably because in the Bible it starts talking about it says hair of wool kind of often, trying to make some woolly, you know what I'm saying? Woolly hair. I don't know.
Yo, Marcus, I'm out of here, man. Yo, Marcus, I'm done.
We only
It's
got a
1
couple.
o'clock.
I mean, this is a wild chat. I had a feeling it was going to get wild when it got on this segment. I had a feeling.
Yeah.
Wow. Seeing the backlash, Marvel has vowed to take a new approach to the character. This is like where she first appeared, but she's fighting the Hulk. And then it comes to find out that, oh, wow, what is that? Bullets flying out of her fingers?
Look like darts.
Look like big ass bullets to me. But wow. No, think about it. It would be
They
bullets.
really
Look,
should.
You got like flashes, like as if her hands are guns.
And you know
that
what?
would make sense with the IDF and I mean shooting and I mean kind of reminiscent of the Shireen Abu Akleh. Israeli IDF shooting. So this is the girl. This is the woman who's playing her. Makes sense. Looks very Israeli. All right, so that's the end of that. What they did not throw in there, I was wondering if they were going to put it in there or not. But in the comic where she's in there with the Hulk, she's like, yeah, a monster taught me how to be human after killing a Palestinian kid.
Oh, did you see the Woman King? I saw that.
I haven't seen anything yet.
I banged the apartheid out of her. You know, that's why I kept trying to allude to the fact that she was black, that she looked black, because I was saying like,
I think probably they already have her signed up in the Thor thing, and they're making her role too big in Thor. They could use her. Well, honestly, what's crazy to me is this Sabra sound. I feel like they tested this with Wonder Woman 1984 because they just didn't. They basically made it like Israel versus Palestine. I don't know if maybe I was just reading into that a lot, that you have an Israeli woman who's been really pushing her Israeli heritage more and more. And then all of a sudden you make the person they're fighting against a Middle Eastern madman. and then she's looked at as, oh, well, no, we're really the good side. It's almost like they were trying to push the Israel-Palestine propaganda in that movie. That's the reason why I hated it so much. And then what do? Take it a step further. Because what I've learned with Hollywood is it doesn't matter if it didn't land, if it didn't land like how it was supposed to. If they want to push an agenda, it doesn't care if the movie bombs. They keep pushing that agenda. That's what I've seen, especially with MCU. They keep pushing that agenda. And I guess they feel like it's worth it to bomb a couple of movies to get our agenda across.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
The goal is the effect of change in the world. The actress looks Western European, though. Marvel Europeanized her. LOL. So did the West with Israel. But if you look at honestly what most Israelis look like, most Israelis look very Western. I know occasionally if you try to look up Israelis and they show you these shots from a distance, they show you ones who look more Middle Eastern, or
that's really in the last
like
Mizrahis, that's really in the
yeah.
last like 2 or 3 generations. If we go anything before that, they ain't none of them people like. So let's stop.
Yeah, well, they started bringing in so-called the Mizrahis and so-called Sephardics, which. But before, I mean, if you look up what modern Jewry is,
you're supposed to be like from there, but you gotta hide from the sun.
Well, it's like 90% are Ashkenazi. Ashkenazi, majority of those people come from, originate from Russia and Germany. So they are not darker people, even though they always try to make that look. They always try to take the couple who look a little bit more Middle Eastern and push them to the front. It says, Marcus, it's okay. Saber does the MCU tax. Oh, wow. They know how to make a profit. Yeah, and I agree. Steve says they definitely aren't the Shemites. Well, I think they possibly could be Shemites, but which Shemites they are, that's a different question. That's what I think, because a lot of people focus on Jacob, but they forget the other side. They forget who Jacob's brother was, and that's who I think they are. And I'll let y'all do the research into what I'm talking about and who Jacob's brother is. And I talk about, I go into that more deeply on Hebrew apologetics, but I'll leave it at that. Streets Liz Trust is just so much. Jack, oh shit, sorry, got a little chill there. Let's see what we got on Rock Fins. That's all my subject. Whoa. I cannot say that out loud. Boy, Dingo and Chris, y'all are fools. I see what y'all doing. Man, y'all need to stop it. Was just about to go to bed. Wasn't expecting to get my comments read. Yeah, sometimes I get a little bit behind, and my apologies, Jacob. I get a little bit behind. But yeah, I try to keep up with both. I don't know, maybe as we've seen that our Rockfin has been growing more and more. I might start saying, all right, Chris, you take YouTube, I'll take Rockfin one night.
No, you need to put me on Rockfin. You take YouTube. You know how to like control yourself and be nice. I don't.
Yeah, because I feel like our Rockfin audience is a little bit more, what's the word? They're not as sensitive. They can handle the issues, and when stuff starts getting they start getting a little triggered over here on the YouTube side, it gets a little different.
No, but it's fine because we can
use the tribes. That's a never-ending. It's not really a never-ending lesson, Mr. Streets. I could break it down pretty quickly. It's just I know that, especially on the political matrix. Exactly, John. Especially on the political matrix, we have a lot of. I don't want to say atheists, but let's say non-Bible believers. So I know that a lot of people don't like to go into that, so I just stay away from it. The kids call it base these days. One more, I think the powers include identity. Ooh, that's what I'm talking about right there. That's her biggest power right there. That's her biggest power, right?
Steve, is that you, AM Wake Up, or is that Pasta? I don't know. Who is that?
I think it's Steve.
It's probably
I'm going
Steve.
to Rockfin more now. Yeah. As more people start filing into Rockfin, that's what it was. Pegasus. Yeah, she's also the Pegasus program. You know, mythical animal, mythical superhero. Of course, yeah. Mm-hmm. Goes hand in hand. You know, and especially as I keep seeing it grow. Yeah, oh, that's right. Pasta's in Brazil.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yes.
Man, lucky him. Well, can be good, can be bad at the same time.
Yo, Marcus, let's go to Vegas. Marcus, let's go to Vegas to go see Steve. Like, just tell me when. I'll get a ticket and I'll just go.
I honestly was like, you know what? I just need to say fuck it and plan the day off. Take the day off work and just fucking do it. I told Steven Pasta I'm coming out there. I gotta show love to my dudes out there and come and see him. And I could possibly just kind of, I'm not feeling good and calling to work, but I want to go out there. I want to go actually out there. And Steve, talking to Steve, he basically explained how, you know, when's the best time, and you could do it, Tuesday through a Thursday and avoid a lot of traffic, or I could just fucking fly out there. But yeah, it definitely got to happen. We're gonna have to have the political matrix. We're gonna have to go live on the show in studio. And that way, you Steve and Pasta can blaze it up. You know me, I can't blaze, but I definitely can have some drinks.
I can.
I know. I'm a little jealous. He says, "Yo, I got an empty house in the next week and a half." Damn. I couldn't do it that far because with my job, it's one of those where you got to put in your vacation time a month ahead.
No, I go to a website. I open up a browser tab and I can get to work right there. That's all I do.
Mr. Street says, "I'll come to Vegas. What can go wrong?" Well, we're gonna have to coordinate that, Mr. Streets. You come out too, and we can all just get buck wild out there. No camera footage of off the live stream. You guys can see none of that shit. I don't know if there's a Patreon or some shit like that. You save it for that. It says, "How the fuck are the Bank sisters gonna make it to the studio before your LA?" Well, I don't know. I invited them. To hook up. I like to just, hey, I was thinking of honestly taking like my setup and figuring how I could like charge my camera. Well, I got my GoPro and I can go and get my GoPro straightened out and then set up so we can film something live. Meet at Echo Park or something. So, they're here in 10 days. So yeah, I told them to reach out to me. Yeah, it doesn't matter if we do something on camera. It'd just be cool to just meet them in person. I mean, I don't know. I don't know if you guys realize what it's like when you've been talking to people online and you finally get to meet them in person. It's kind of cool. So, a lot of fun. Something I'm looking forward to. I don't know if y'all know this. Me and Chris have still not met in person. But it's something that we got in the works.
I've been telling Marcus come down here so I can fully corrupt him. So I'm just waiting.
But oh goodness, can't do that. Oh, hold on a second. I'm about to close it out, but I gotta run to the little village room.
February works. Where did Marcus go? I hope he didn't have to go take a shit or anything like that. We all do it. Don't judge. Maybe his stomach was bothering him. Leave him alone. But it's 1:09 on the East Coast here. Obviously it's a little bit earlier on the West Coast. I'm a little tired, but I wanted to go out, but this rain is. I just hear it now because I had the idea in my head to go out. The rain just, yeah. It's pouring now. So, we have a couple days here to get prepared before the storm comes. So we'll see how bad it is. I'm hoping it's not too bad, but we'll find out one way or the other. To everybody who participated in the chat, we appreciate it as usual. Ruby, we've known each other, I think 3 years. Yeah, 3 years.
Yeah.
Pause, no homo. Look, pause, no homo. I jumped in his DMs and I sent him a message like, "Yo, I saw what you said," and then we've been friends ever since.
Yep.
So jump in people DMs. You never know what kind of relationship you could find. Because I jumped in his DMs and we have a great relationship.
Yep. Well, and here's another thing. Like, I'll give you a perfect example.
They go down
Hamza,
in the DM.
Hamza hits me up all the time, drops info in there, and like, I'll give you an example. Like Baba, for instance. Anybody knows, like, just DM me, just talk to me, and yeah, I respond to everybody. Well, as long as you're not some bot. If you're a real person and you really want to reach out to me, I'm super easy to reach out to. I'm very accessible. So that's that. So there are going to be a lot of 33% South Italian babes in Brazil now. Oh Lord. Yeah, it's definitely time, and it'll probably be me going out his direction. I don't know who will go whose direction first.
I always tell you I can travel. It doesn't matter. I got the hookup, so I can move anytime essentially.
Yeah, man. I that would be cool to see you out here. I gotta go. I got a couple of trips I got like planned that I got to do. Be safe, man. When I move out there, I'm not fucking around with hurricane in the area. I'm out.
Streets, it's really hit or miss, and because I've been here long enough to where I've gone through a couple of hurricanes. The report said, "Yo, the hurricane is coming to your house. If you don't leave, you're gonna die." Right? I didn't leave the house, and we got sprinkles that day. The east side of the state got hammered, but where I was on the west side, like I said, it was like a perfect day outside with just a little bit of sprinkles, and that was supposed to be a hurricane. So you just never really know. That's not to say other places weren't impacted or they didn't cause damage or anything like that, but it's really hit or miss.
It all depends on also like what part of Florida you're in. I mean, I lived in Florida off and on about 12 years or so, something like that. And in Jacksonville, nothing. We got flooding, flash flooding. We got like a couple of small I mean, I don't even know if they're even tornadoes. I mean, maybe like water spouts or whatever. And in Jacksonville, just the way the jet stream works, it literally, unless it's like a category 4, by the time it hits that area, like a strong 3 or 4, it gets pushed out. And so you just end up getting smacked with the outer bands, a lot of rain and some wind, but you never get really hit. Pensacola gets hit, definitely does.
That area, because it's right along the Gulf. So
the Gulf gets hit more than I'll say the east side.
That's what I call LA.
What?
Like that area, Pensacola and all that, I call that LA. Lower Alabama.
Yeah, because when I worked armor truck and I went out to our called it Alabama branch, Pensacola branch, because most of our jobs and routes were in Alabama, including like the casinos on the reservation and a lot of that. When was the last time Jacksonville got hit bad? I want to say it was Hurricane Gene or John, ironically enough, back in like the 60s. I think it was like
that was a long time ago, kid.
That's what I'm saying, and that was like a category 3 or 4. because I remember meeting people who had actually been through it. So they were like, yeah, it got hit back then. But all right, I think that's about it. You know, another one of our crazy shows that gets impromptu. If you guys know us, and for those who don't know us, and not used to the show, this is how it goes. It's a real live time show. So whatever hops in the chat or comments, it can take the show all kind of different directions. But yeah, the odds are really good, Mr. Street, really, really good. Being safe for the most part. And it's probably the best odds as far as living in the whole entire state. I mean, maybe Tallahassee might be a little better because Tallahassee's so far inland. Tallahassee's probably the most inland that you get being in Florida as far as a major city.
And me, I'm right on the coast. Like I'm a few minutes from the water. So for me, it's like, if it ever does come, I'm screwed. But it's okay because I know how to swim, and I don't care about my children. So if they're not around, I'm free. So obviously, I'm just being ignorant.
Exactly, Thomas. This should be, this is a good way to explain our show. A lively show, but everyone speaks for themselves. LOL. Yeah, and a lively chat. It's all about hearing everybody out, and from two men who feel like our point of views are not very often represented. We definitely
we don't need black dudes who talk about this kind of shit. And we're not like in a camp, as in like you got people like a Hotep Jesus or something like that. He talks about whatever he talks about, but he tries to like lean more towards like the MAGA side of things. You have RBN, right? They're more involved in like the political aspect of it in terms of electoral politics, what the Democratic Party is doing. Who else? Rome, he be out here feeding the homeless. I ain't got nothing to say about him. Other than that, as far as content creators, like we're the only ones really talking about this shit
what
that
we
I
talk
can
about.
find.
Yeah,
Because it's either music, they talking about relationships, they're talking about like banking, business. There's not many of us. I look across the whole spectrum. Even some of the black females, they tend to focus on a lot of like the main. They tend to get a lot of their cues off the mainstream and want to debunk what the mainstream media is doing, which is fine. There's a place for that. It's necessary. It's extremely helpful. But we are the only ones that really do what it is.
What we do. Well, another thing is even the ones who I see that do talk politics, it's only talking politics from a black focused, lens.
Yes.
If this is a policy that affects black people, then we'll talk about it. We talk about Palestine, we talk about Israel, we talk about Russia, we talk about all of it. We talk about everything that that's actually going on. And then we talk about, the stuff that affects the black community also. We don't just isolate ourselves. And that's where I feel like we're a little bit different. I mean, except for the fact of, I really can't think of any other black content created show that talks about the stuff we talk about.
Not in the circles. Not in the circles that we've seen online through Twitter and all that. Not there. That's not to say that we are truly the only ones. I don't want to be so full of myself to think that we would be the only ones, right? Realistically speaking, but within the circles that I see online that I'm in, not necessarily involved in, but that I'm like a part of, so to speak, or I can see. There's nobody else.
Well, I literally search for other channels. Like I was doing my research because I feel like a lot of black content creators, and I would actually throw in a lot of brown content creators who talk about a wide variety of things, don't get a lot of attention, don't get promoted. I mean, if you're a Latino, all you get to talk about is Latin issues and politics, how it affects the Latin community, or some just cultural thing that happens within your particular Latin community, and that's the lane you're allowed to be in. If you want to start talking about news, politics, all this and that and pop culture, sorry, lost my mic. But If you want to talk about a wide umbrella of stuff, then nah, you're not getting promoted unless you sell out like a Mike Figueredo. But that's a whole nother show. Yeah, still throwing shots out, but I guess
All right,
that's.
well, Marcus, that's about it, man. I'm tapping out.
Hold on a second. I can't DM. Well, Jacob, let's see. A few more church communities. Here, this is what I'll do. Jacob, I will give you my email. If you're not on social media, that's fine. You can still email me. And you can definitely reach out to me that way. And then a lot of times what I do, and Chris, well, and some of the people, not only Chris, but some of the other people can tell you this, you know, once I build a rapport with somebody and I'm cool with them, I have no problem being like perfect example, Misha. They're like, yo, here's my number. You just give me a call, shoot me a text, you know, and let's talk off cam.
Mm-hmm.
You know, yeah, definitely. There's my email. And the same to anybody else who is out there. If you want to reach out to me, want to send me stories, links, people to reach out to possibly interview or have on the show, whether it's on this show, The Political Matrix, or live stream, or whether I bring them on for an individual interview on the What We've Been Thinking channel. Either way, just hit me up, and you know, there's the email there. Not in the Amish kid that knows no better equals Michael Foucault. Yes. So yeah, just hit me up, y'all, and hopefully y'all have a wonderful, wonderful weekend. To everybody's football teams out there, good luck to your teams as long as they're not playing mine. And we'll have a good one. Everybody, thanks for tuning in. Much love to everybody. And John out there, I don't have no kind of beef towards you.
John, I ain't got no beef with you, but I had to put you in your place, okay? So
But
you
I
got a
do-
little pow. It's okay. You can come back.
But I do have, you know, different views than certain other people. And even if I just because we disagree on certain things here and there doesn't mean that we all can't be cool. So try to keep it cool and stay with everybody. And y'all have a good one. Good night, y'all.
All right, guys. Peace out, everybody. Thank y'all for joining us. Have a good night.